And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day of the OSC Season 12 Championship Upper Bracket Round 2. I'm, of course, just VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in the chat, by my plushies as well. Welcome, one and all, to another day of the OSC Championship. And again, we have been going over this for the past couple of days, and it's been, a long-running event. For those that are curious, of course, I'm your host, Live VIP, Pappy. I'm, of course, your host here, and the OSC Championship is a year-long event. Every single year for the past, 12 years? It's been 12 years. it's been 12 years. Oh my god. But every single year for the past 12 years, we've had an OSC Championship. Basically, this is an end-of-year event, I guess, beginning of year event in a way, where throughout the entirety of the year, players have been accumulating points. They've been gathering points throughout the entire year through online events, through an online circuit, and now we're here to determine the online champion. Here we go. Yesterday we wrapped up day 1, and here we are live with day number 2. And if you're curious, let's switch things over. Let's have a look here at the matches ahead of us. Here we go. We have 4 best of 5s. These are best of 5s, bear that in mind. On top of that, this is a double elimination bracket. A lot of matches to be held, a lot of games to be had as well. Actually, I believe I can maybe have something better for you here. Let's go. As we have these 5 matches ahead of us. We had 5 matches yesterday. Sorry, 4 matches ahead of us. We had 4 matches yesterday as well. So plenty of content, plenty of matches to come ahead of us. And I got you here. I believe we have the upper bracket and the lower bracket, just for some greater context as to what's going on and as to what's to come as well. There's a lot of matches. There's a lot of matches, as you can imagine here. Oh, so I should have had this set up earlier. Un momento. Does this work? Your cell brackets. This kind of works. Let's have a look. Bam. Okay. Here we go. We have the upper bracket here of the event. As you can see, we have a lot to go through. We have a lot of matches to go through here. We have, oh my god, we have the first round, which did conclude, featuring SKillous advancing on over Young Yakov, NightMare over Rebellion, Cure over Creator, Christiana versus Middle VK, Wayne over Classic, and Shameless versus Hon Mono. Again, a lot of matches were held. The first round is concluded, and we are here with the second round instead. As you can see here, we do have players waiting in the third round as well. We have Hero, we have Max, we have Gerald, we have Shin, and all the way on the right hand side we have Björn, and we have Dark as well in the later rounds, in the later stages. Again, this event is most likely going to run all month, maybe into February as well. There's a lot of games to be played, there's a lot of matches to be had, so there's a lot to catch up. On. As you can imagine, there's also the lower bracket. it's double elimination, papi. It's double elim. So we have the lower bracket as well. So no one has been eliminated yet from the tournament. They all get knocked down to the lower bracket instead. So there are even more matches being held. And these are all best of 5s, by the way. All best of 5s. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Oh my god. We'll get there. Alas, until then, we have today's games. We have SKillous versus NightMare, Cure versus NightMare, Wayne versus Christiana, and Clem versus Shameless. 3 TVPs and 1 ZVP. I don't know what it is as of late, but we've been casting a lot of Terran versus Protoss. A lot of Terran versus Protoss matches have been held here on the CranKy Ducklings. I feel like maybe like 70% of the games over the past week. It's like this week has been very Terran Protoss heavy. I'm glad we at least have one non-TVP matchup. We have a Zerg match in there at some point with Wayne versus Christiana. We'll get there. It's all good. It'll happen. But otherwise, we have our first series. We have our first match here of the night. We have SKillous versus NightMare, 2 players from the European region. I'm curious how they do compare to each other. Again, SKillous is a heavy favorite. SKillous, he has been looking on fire as of late, has been looking very, very good, especially amongst even the best players in the world. SKillous has been definitely leveling up. Likewise, NightMare, this is his best matchup. TVP is where he excels. We have seen him bring down players of the caliber of Hero in the past. NightMare is an animal, and we expect aggression. We expect all-ins. We expect him to be in the face of SKillous. Let's go. As we get into game 1, it's going to be on Whispers of Gold. Now, the format of the event for today's broadcast is going to be covering the first 2 matches, then we'll be having a short break, then we'll be finishing off the day of StarCraft. The initial day, I should say, as of course today we have 2 broadcasts here. Later on tonight is going to be Masters Coliseum, of course, is going to be day 2 of this week's Masters Coliseum round. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the red Protoss player representing Team Liquid. It is SKillous. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Terran player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Nickeract. Oh boy, and again, we've casted plenty of Nickeract here on the channel over the past year. He's been a very active player in the online tournament circuits, and in these online events, we've seen quite a plethora of his TVP matches, but again, they mainly are based on aggression, whether it's proxies, whether it's cheeses, whether it's 2 base all-ins, whether it's 2 base all-ins again, and maybe even another 2 base all-in. We don't often get to see the macro play out of Nickeract in this matchup. We do see it from time to time, more so than Hold Mono, for example. Like, Nickeract, he's not as animalistic as Hold Mono, I will emphasize that, but again, is typically more so in the face of his opponent than less so, or that, yeah, than not. So, Curious how he does approach SKillous, as again, SKillous is going to be coming in as one of the heavy hitters to take a deep run in this tournament. We'll see how far he can go. We shall see. So now we do have our standard openers. It is going to be an economic opener here out of Nickeract, going for a Rax Expand. Single gas here by a Terran player. Likewise, a Gate Cybercore into Nexus from SKillous. So standard opener out of SKillous, economic opener out of Nickeract. As SKillous is being as annoying as possible, attempting to delay the expansion. Could even go for a pylon block, but outside of that, shouldn't really achieve too much here with this probe, as at least forcing some inefficient mining, 1 SCV off the mineral line. As he dips back in, and Nickeract expands. CC's on the way. Command Center is on the way, just catching up. This is still live. Hello. The broadcast is live, but we are going over the replays here today. Is the plan. Let's go. I mean, in general, the way this format works is that the players, they play their matches ahead of time, and then they submit replays. They submit their replays, which we do cover here on the channel. As there are just a lot of matches happening at once, it is a little bit easier to just have the players individually schedule their matches amongst themselves. So the Reaper is going to be zoned away. Likewise, behind this is going to be a Twilight Council opener. Twilight Council out of SKillous. Working towards Blink. How many gates? That's the real question. Do we go 2-gate Blink, 3-gate Blink, or 4-gate Blink Stalker? How aggressive is he going to be? Meanwhile, speaking of aggression, we spoke about it earlier, but Nickeract, he's going for a 3 Rax. Let's go. That's a second and third Rax on the way. Delay on the factory, delay on the starport. What does this mean? This means a very strong stim timing. We have +1 on the way with that eBay stim, of course, combat shields. This can, of course, hit quite hard, and it is on SKillous to figure out what's going on. It is on SKillous to scout, and does he commit to the shade? Oh, he does, and he does spot the second Rax. Big tell. Doesn't see the third Rax yet, but I mean, seeing the lack of factory, seeing the Rax instead, it does tell him most of what he needs to know. SKillous, he is aware. Shading in with a second Adept. And gets eyes on the Marine production. From here, can dip away. And back at home, SKillous, you should be prioritizing on the Stalker production, and the goal here should be to reduce Stalkers, to be active on the map, and to slow down the push. Until then, the Adept's doing a great job here at denying mining time. As Nickeract, of course, is heavily oversaturated in the main and cannot mine here at the natural. Not with these Adepts. Not with the Adepts on the way. SKillous, he finally does shade away. Doesn't overstay his welcome. Pulls back. And now Nickeract can finally resaturate his natural. And Stim has begun. Stim is on the way. Marauder production as well. Checking the vision, Nickeract, he has seen what's going on across the map. It looks like it was a 2-gate opener, by the way. 2-gate Blink into a third. Very economic here by SKillous. I would say maybe a little bit greedy here. I feel like this is what Nickeract wanted. He wants SKillous to be greedy and then to bring him down with his push, with his timing. Against SKillous, he's seen most of what he needs to. But can he stop it? Can he slow it down as here come those Stalkers? As we mentioned before, it is so important here that SKillous is active with these Stalkers. As every Marine he brings down is, I mean, 1 Marine less for the push. Marines here reveal themselves. Forcing back the Adept. Hallucination confirms. Blink into the main with their Marauders. Ooh, the Blink is going to be punished. Yeah, SKillous, he has to get the hell out of here. This was not the play. Taking a lot of hits, and can he escape? He should be able to blink away. Whew, just barely. Almost punished. Did sustain a lot of hull damage. Again, just contained and incorrect on 2 bases. Behind this forge on the way, 2 more gates, getting up to a 4-gate setup. Sorry, 5-gate setup even. Charges in production, but he doesn't have that many stalkers here. There we go. He is reinforcing. With enough stalkers, he can even try to pick up some of these marauders as well. As here comes the move out. Oh, does not quite get the marine. Nice moves here by Nickrat, shuffling back those weakened units. Hoping to catch out a stalker. Doesn't want to waste a stim. Does rotate towards the left. SKillous trying to keep up. Combat shields is done. SKillous poking in, hasn't killed anything yet, which again is concerning. Force fields are ready. Nickrat, he doesn't go for the dive. Force field gets wasted. Nickrat, he's just biding his time. Knocking down those rocks. Concussive shell almost done. Up. And he does catch a stalker. What stalker goes out? He stims. Oh, a bit of a wasted stim here by Nickrat. Does keep going. Force field will zone him back. 1 marine goes down. And SKillous, he is holding. And again, that stim was brutal. The army is weakened. Charge is about to finish. And Nickrat, he's missed his window. He's missed his window at this point. He has to pull away. And SKillous, he gets away with it. He holds, gets away with a 3rd base, and gets a fully saturated 3rd CC now on the way for Nickrat. But again, this is a little bit more delayed. Did invest quite heavily into this bio and has yet to really achieve too much. Now, what I will say, thankfully, Nickrat, he does preserve his army. Looking at the units lost tab, he lost 1 Marine, 1 Marauder, and 1 Reaper. So, because his army is still alive, this means that he can build up and get ready for a 2nd wave, a 2nd push, as he still has plenty to work with. He's got a big army. A lot of Marines, a lot of Marauders. Scans ahead of time, does confirm that there is no splash damage. Instead, it was a charge-based follow-up. Behind this, can start working towards Widow Mines or rush into Ghosts. We'll see what he goes for. SKillous does move out. That engages with the main army. Ooh. And again, that's quite a death blow of an army here for Nickrat. He has a lot to work with. This time he's got his Medivacs. He can top up his army. As he moves out, SKillous is moving in. Do we go for a base trade? Oh god. Okay. For a minute, I thought the boys were being pulled. Speaking of the boys, they're going to be going down. And Nickrat, he commits. I mean, there's no turning back. Not anymore. We're going for the base trade. 4th base is going to be denied. Likewise, SKillous pushing towards the natural. Oh, that's a kill. Is a kill in the Nexus. Going towards the 3rd. Speaking of massive warp into the main, CC's going to be hunted down. And Nickrat, he has not evacuated. Workers are falling. Speaking of, SKillous likewise hasn't evacuated either. But there are pylons out on the map. Main base is going to fall. Nickrat, he does have some probes. It does have workers, so he can throw down the Nexus. And once he gets the money for it, likewise, Nickrat, he evacuates. There it is. Nexus is on the way. SKillous is expanding. Does evacuate as well. Probes, they do get away. Just barely. And Nickrat, he's making his way towards the main. Is pushing in. Now, in a head-on fight, I do favor SKillous. I do favor SKillous with this army, with the force fields, with the zealots. Hunting down the CCs. These buildings are not burning, so they will survive. But the orbital is going to go down. Ooh, and the buildings are going to be revealed. And SKillous, he has to make his final stand here at his expansion. I mean, Nickrat, he has to find it. Does have to find it. SKillous, he turns back around, looking to engage with the main army. As Nickrat, he is revealed. SKillous, he now knows there's no more bases out there. There's no mining, there's no economy. We even have a dark... there's a dark shrine on the way. I mean, that's the way to do it. True. Army supply in favor of SKillous. And again, Nickrat, he cannot fight this now. He does have Medivacs. He can pick up and try to get away. Can load up. At least try to. SKillous pulling back. Doesn't take his chances. I do think he could have tried to have caught the army here with some force fields. There's potential. Oh, here's some dips in. SKillous trying to get eyes on the army. NightMare, he's looking for the base. Observer, I mean, the Observer can just chase, yeah. I mean, there's no scans. There are no scans. Observer can just follow. Dark Shrine is done. SKillous, he is supply blocked. Speaking of more pylons going down. That's NightMare, he's still looking for the base. He doesn't know where the expansion is. He gets another pylon. I'll just follow back. And SKillous, if he's able to just break out of the supply block, he will just win the game with DTs. Like 100%. There's just no answer. The best that NightMare could hope for is maybe trying to force a draw, but jeez, that's a lot of hallucination. But the reality is that SKillous, he can just fight head on. And I don't see a world where NightMare can force a draw outside of SKillous splitting up his own army, which could occur. NightMare, he does find the expansion, does find it. Oh, goes to the stim. Does go for the stim. Again, there's just so many force fields. Like, how does he push down? He doesn't. It's not, it's not gonna happen. He cannot push in. As DT does waddle in, and again, there is no detection. He has to fight. Oh, God. He can't even fight. It can't happen. Just free damage to the Dark Templar. Another DT warps in. Just chasing down NightMare. Buildings, they float on forward to tank some shots. And once again, he stims in. No, once in the force fields, they send him away. Cybercore goes down, but the DTs, oh my God. I mean, at this point, SKillous, he can just fight. GG gets called. GG, and SKillous takes game number 1. GG. Again, the base trade was probably the best chance for NightMare. NightMare, he could never really fight the main army at a certain point. He missed his window, missed his opportunity, and again, SKillous just had so much more complexity to his army when it came to the force fields, the amount of sentries, the charge lots, the stalkers. So the base trade was the best option for NightMare. Unfortunately, he didn't save any of his workers, or he didn't save any of his buildings, I should say, his orbitals, I should say. So he wasn't able to really kind of force a fight on his terms. He was the one that had to try to break that final nexus instead, and SKillous was very comfortable with that. GG. GG, well played. SKillous takes a lead in the series, and now we're getting into game number 2. It's going to take us here into El Dorado. Oh, let's go. Those DCs were hilarious. I mean, he didn't even need them. Like, honestly, like, SKillous, he kept force fielding the ramp and just denying the Terran. SKillous, he could have just A-moved. He could just A-moved. Like, it was so unnecessary. It was cool, but still. As here we go, we're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of El Dorado, we have the red Protoss player representing Team Liquid, leading the series 1-0. It is SKillous. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Terran player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is NightMare. You are underestimating man with gun. Clearly not. Clearly not, Pappy. Clearly not. As from here, we are going to be settling in. And again, welcome one and all to El Dorado. With this, of course, the map can be transformed in a couple different ways depending on how our players do expand. But as we mentioned in the previous game, we expect aggression out of NightMare. Last game, NightMare, he went for a 3-racks build. He went for a 3-racks into a stim timing, which unfortunately didn't quite hit the mark. SKillous, he bought enough time and it was able to overwhelm the army. Here we could see a 3-1-1 setup into a 2-base saloon where you pull the boys. We could see some commitment into Banshees as well. We have seen NightMare embrace Mass Cyclone. True, he has gone Mass Cyclone before, so that is also a viable option here. It can be difficult to pull off, but I mean, with the new old Cyclone, you can mass them up. So we'll see. For the time being, though, it is double gas. This time, double gas opener out of NightMare to a faster factory. With the faster factory, it can go into a tank drop, Banshees, a Widowmine drop as well, Reactor Reaper Hellion. as the factory gets thrown down further back, which means no add-on swap. Is a hidden factory here, further towards the main. Likewise, SKillous going for his own gate cyber into expansion, standard opener. Everything's looking normal from the side of the Protoss. And we are opening up with the initial Reaper into Reactor. Reaper's moving out for some scouting information, and Nickrex should expand. Is going to be expanding back at home. Dips into the main. We have our take of choice. Not a Twilight Council this time. It's going to be a Stargate. Let's go. Stargate opener out of SKillous. Here on El Dorado, the rush distance by air is very short, so it does make sense. I mean, it kind of makes sense. On the one hand, yes, it is short by air, so you can be more assertive and more aggressive, but at the same time, this is not a map as large as Abyssal or Neo-Violet Square or King's Cove, so you are vulnerable to all-ins. You're vulnerable to these ground-based pushes, so this is a risky maneuver here by SKillous. Is risky. Reaper dips in. Gonna be forced back. Meanwhile, it is going to be Reacted Reaper Hellion here out of Nickrex. The goal with this kind of army composition, depending on how much he commits and how many Hellions he makes, is, of course, to dive into the mineral line. To break through the natural, dive into the mineral line, and roast up some probes. As he is going to be cutting Reaper Hellion at 3 and 2. Okay, 3 Reapers, 2 Hellions. He's not going up to 5. Meanwhile, SKillous, he has his Onaga. He does spot the move out. So nice moves here by SKillous. He is in position. The Adepts are ready. Phoenix on the way. Can always lift up one of the Hellions. And with that, the first Hellion is going to go down. Very nice shots. Takes down a Reaper. Gets 1. Gets 2. The Hellion does survive. But 2 Reapers do fall. And there's no way for this army to get up the ramp. Just like that, SKillous, he shuts down the aggression. Behind this, Nickrex going for his own Viking, his own Cyclone production. He did not scout the tech of choice, so he's forced to play safe. Just playing it safe, covering his bases. Phoenixes are on the way. The new old new. No, the new old. Because it's not from the last patch, it's from the patch before the last patch. It's the old Cyclone. Let's go. As Phoenixes get zoned away. Nickrex amassing his army. And we'll see where we go from here. Now, as SKillous is getting to mass Phoenix, he can transition into two different ways, either into Charged Archon, into Charged, of course, a Charged Zealot composition, or into Robo, into Colossus. And this looks like a more traditional form of Phoenix Colossus. We have a Safety Immortal in the way first, but we should soon be seeing a Bay as well. Hello, SKillous. And as he's working towards the bay, the boys are being pulled. Let's go. The boys are being pulled. Nickrex, he's committing here on 2 bases. I mean, again, this is what we expect out of Nickrex, to pull the boys. So he's going for a 1.5 base all in. Meanwhile, back at home, the Safety Immortal is going to come into play. He's just trying to catch reinforcements. Nickrex, he is committed. Shield Biter still in production. Trying to catch out that Immortal. Ooh, Cyclone goes down. A bit of miscontrol here by Nickrex. First Cyclone does fall. Vikings, they can't land. As Phoenixes are not at home. We should be landing. There we go, landing behind the main army, going for the Adepts. Tank does siege, going for the Immortal. The Immortal goes down, massive pickup. And with that, Nickrex, he's breaking through. Breaks through the main army, getting on top of the Robo. Can we depower? We cannot. Not in time. The Immortal does pull out just in time here. Vikings force a lift. Nickrex diving in, pushing further into the natural. That one Immortal holding the line. Phoenixes, they race back over. They go for the tanks. Vikings first. Tank's going to be lifted. He gets 1, he gets 2, he gets both of them. And just barely SKillous, he's holding on. The boys are adding quite a bit of DPS. First tank goes down, second tank as well. And the army gets completely cleaned up. And as the dust settles, Nickrex, he barely has a worker lead. That is true, but he lost his army. He lost everything. Now it's time to counterattack. Robo's repowered. Another Immortal's on the way. And SKillous moves out. What did he lose there? SKillous, he lost 2 Phoenixes. Still has plenty more. And with this army, he can try to break the tank. There's not much here. There's no bunker. There's vanilla Marines. Remember, there's no stim. There's no combat shields. These Marines are really here just for a buffer. They don't really do much. And he wants it. He wants it. Up. He commits. Ooh, commits a shade. Tank goes down. The repairs are nice, but the tank should still fall. Oh. As Phoenixes, they do lift. He's trying up. He does it. He gets one. He gets one tank, and he'll get the other as well. And SKillous, he has done it. He breaks through the defensive line. The all-in failed. And SKillous with the counter. GG. GG. Well played, SKillous. He barely held on against the initial all-in. And from there, snowballed out of control. GG. Whew. GG. Well played. Again, so unfortunate that Nickrat, he was... what, like 3 seconds too late? 3 seconds too late to depower that robo before the immortal popped out. That was a very close move, or clutch move here, as he depowered the robo, but the immortal still popped out. With the help of that one immortal, with the Phoenixes returning back home, SKillous, he held. He was able to hold on, he was able to break through, he was able to shut down the main army. It was a very close defense, and he had to pull a bunch of workers to pull that off, but did it. Did it in the end. Did survive. GG. With that, SKillous takes a 2-0 lead. Does take a 2-0 lead here, and we'll see if Nickrat can bounce back as we're loading into Game 3. The pressure is on. One more loss and SKillous will take the series. Nickrat has to fight back here and now to make a series out of this. We'll see if he can on Ultra Love. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the red Protoss player representing Team Liquid. It is SKillous. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Terran player representing the Platinum Heroes. Down in this series, he has to fight back here and now. It is Nickrat. Here we go. So we're getting into our Game 3. And again, we expect aggression. So far, Game 1, we saw Nickrat go for a 3 racks. Game 2, we saw him go for a 1.5 base all-in with early Cyclone Tank Viking, which again had a lot of potential to really pop off and had potential to break SKillous. Almost did break him. Here in Game 3, I was going to say proxy, but there is no proxy out on the map. What haven't we seen yet? We haven't seen like a racks into factory into second, third racks 2 base all in yet, like a proper 2 base all in with proper 2 base saturation. That hasn't occurred yet here in this series, but we are loading into Ultra Love, which is a very defendable map. So I'm not too confident about that kind of play, but we'll see. For now, double gas. Double gas into a faster factory. This can lead into, as I mentioned before, early Cyclones, early Widowmine drop. We can lead into early tank drop as well, Banshee play. Nickrat has options. And we'll see where SKillous takes us. Here we go. As SKillous, he has been shaking it up as well. Did even go Stargate. I was concerned about him going Stargate on El Dorado, and he was almost punished for it. Almost, but not quite. Wait, if he goes Stargate on El Dorado, we can go Stargate on Ultra Love as well. We'll see. But now SKillous checking for a proxy. Does check the third base location before moving out with his own probe scout. Nickrat back at home, going to be expanding. Once again, factory further back, so no add-on swap. Looks like we could once again go for Reactor Reaper Hellion, as we did go for the initial Reaper. Moving out across the map. Does move out. Now it's going to be deflected. Likewise, SKillous just being as annoying as possible. Does force back that SCV behind this Stargate opener out of SKillous. So once again, Stargate play. I would say it's less risky on Ultra Love to go Stargate instead of El Dorado. So should be feeling more secure. And as we mentioned, just like the previous game, Reactor Reaper Hellion. Now, last game we saw this completely shut down, and Nickrat did not get any economic damage. We'll see if he has better luck here on Ultra Love. As that is, as we were talking earlier about the potential all-in, racks, factory, 2 more racks, delayed starboard, this is a 2 base all-in. Oh boy. Now again, this hits a little bit later than the move out we saw last game, because we should be getting full 2 base saturation. Likewise, we should be moving out with ideally 3 tanks. So Tech Lab is finishing up. We're going to get our first tank, then second, then third. With this, we can also throw down an eBay and hit with +1 and build up a bio army. This is very hot water. Meanwhile, first Hellion goes down. NightMare pulls away. Does at least confirm the Stargate opener. This time it's going to be Stargate, not into Phoenix's Stargate, into Oracle, into a Twilight Council. SKillous could be hard switching out of a Stargate production, which is going to be the correct move here against what NightMare is up to. Meanwhile, he dives into the main. He confirms the follow-up. He does get eyes on the Twilight Council. Blink is in production. NightMare going for the mineral line. Shouldn't get too much here, but does confirm no more Phoenixes, no more Oracles. Speaking of, Oracle does get across the map. NightMare being cleaned up. And does pull out. Now, it looks like when it comes to this 2-base all-in, NightMare, he's not getting the eBay, so he's not working towards +1. But he is building up that tank count. First tank is about to arrive. SKillous going straight for the third. Very greedy here by SKillous, as he has scouted. He knows. Has scouted the main. He knows what's going on. Loving the stasis trap. Really confident play here by the red Protoss. Very confident. Throwing down extra stasis traps. Getting ready for the move out. When it comes to this 2-base all-in, we should be pulling the boys. And NightMare, he's at least trying to save those Reapers. Oh. So it's away the army. Oh no! Don't get baited! Oh, it is going to get baited. Stasis goes off. Tank is exposed. The tank will survive. NightMare so far is holding on. As the Oracle goes ham, the Oracle should not get the tank, thankfully. And we should be waiting for Stim. Stim is almost done. Stim and combat shields. NightMare soon to pull the trigger. Stasis runs out. Is pushing. Again, Stim should finish by the time the army gets across the map. SKillous slowing him down, picking off a handful of Marines. A lot of Marines do fall. Ay, ay, ay. NightMare is losing too much. Again, Stim isn't ready. Neither is combat shields. Just now in 10 seconds, but he bled out so much in the process. As NightMare is edging on forward. Third tank soon to arrive, but this is an earlier move out from NightMare. And how much did he lose? 8 Marines. 8 Marines and a Marauder. I mean, that's more Marines than he has right now. So he can't really threaten. He can't really do much here. Oh, don't siege out. Okay, oh, this is risky. SKillous getting behind the army, catching reinforcements of the tank. Tank gets away. And NightMare, he does move in. SKillous does catch 2 Marauders. Nicely done. Marauders going down. The third base, it's going to fall. NightMare getting damage. Black Knight's back at home. SCVs are going to be going down. There's barely any reinforcements. And SKillous, he trades well. Scans ahead of time. He spots the stasis. He's aware. And we're going for the base trade. The boys are being pulled. There's only one Stalker to defend. NightMare, he can shut this down. Yeah, the probes are falling. We're running out of it. No, nothing shoots up. Nothing shoots up. No more Marines. Just Marauders and tanks. SKillous, he evacuates. He gets the hell out of there. Meanwhile, I believe a recall back home. No, the Stalkers, they went down across the map. Stalkers did fall. Can he take down the tank? He blinks in. Up. Gets 1 Marauder. Gets 1. Gets 2. Cleans off the army. And where exactly are we? SKillous down to 9 supply. 9 army supply, I should say. 3 Stalkers and 1 Oracle. NightMare moving out. He did not kill the third, but he will. At least he looks to. The lack of Marines is concerning, though. Like, 1 Oracle can clean up all these Marines. Like, unironically. They can do so. Going for the Nexus. Stalker reinforcements have arrived. Tank is going to go down. Massive pickup does get the expansion. Does take down the third. But the army's cleaned up. And SKillous, he has map control. He can move out. Can move out. Now up to 5 Stalkers. Back at home. NightMare, he does have the economic advantage. He has mules. Bear that in mind. He has mules. Trying to hold the line. No bunker, though. No bunker. No backup tank. Stalkers, they dive in. Oh, dive going to be punished. Cyclone has arrived. Let's go. Yeah, SKillous is being shut down. Again, getting a little bit too cavalier. Going for the Cyclone. He will get it. Cyclone gets picked off. Down to 2 Marauders. Tank does swap out. Nickrat barely holding on. Whew. And do we expand? We do. SKillous, he expands. He's taking his 3rd. And oh no, he's going for a Dark Shrine. No, not like this. Not again. Dark Shrine on the way. Now what's scary in this kind of position here is that Nickrat, he's muling his heart out. You know, he's not preserving energy for scans. It's not happening. Tank goes down, massive dive, charge is done. And SKillous going for the mineral line. He kills some SCVs. 7 SCV kills 8 SCVs. Up to 9. And again, this is just all the more reason to mule. It's just all the more reason here. Nickrat, he pulls out of gas, needs those minerals. Dark Shrine, halfway done. Nickrat, he's trying to stabilize. Back up to 1 tank, soon to be 2. SKillous, he has high ground vision, he can dive into the main. Main base is somewhat exposed. Tank is not ready. Doesn't go for it. Dark Shrine about to finish. Now, thankfully, there is no War Prism, so it'll take some time for the DTs to get across the map. SKillous, he needs time. Meanwhile, Nickrat, he's been muling. And hopefully he holds on to 1 skin, potentially, but I don't think he will. Once again, Nickrat, he doesn't... Oh, sorry, SKillous does not quite get an SCV. Pokes in. Proxy Pylon is done. Alright, how much energy? That's at 50. Building up. Does he mule back? He does. I mean, he probably will. Oh, that's a turret! Let's go! He's playing safe! Turret's on the way! Who needs mule? Or who needs scans? Oh no, it's too late. No! DT waddles in. There is a scan available. And there we go. He just muled! He just muled here at the natural. There's the first scan, but he only had 1. Only 1 scan available. Ay, ay, ay. GT gets in. There was just the 1 scan. Not like this. GG gets called, and SKillous, he takes the series 3-0. GG. No. GG, well played. Nickrat, he had 2 scans. He had the turret, so he spent 1 of his scans on a mule instead, so he only had 1. And with that, the Invisible Man. The Invisible Man is just too much to handle. Wreaks havoc in the main base. GG. Too much damage. And SKillous takes the series. GG. Well played. Congratulations here. SKillous does take it. Again, Nickrat just didn't know. He just didn't know there were DTs. He was playing it safe, so I mean, props to Nickrat. He was getting that turret. He was throwing down that missile turrets. But you could argue that he was a little bit trigger happy with that scan in the natural, right? Because if the turret was a couple seconds away from finishing, did he need to spend that scan? Because he did, that means no scan in the main. No scan in the main base. That was game then and there. GG. GG, well played. Whew. And with that, SKillous will take the first series. We'll take the first series here. And we'll advance on to the next round. Nickrat, he is knocked down to the lower bracket. And with that, that leads us into our second TVP of the night. Oh boy, we got a lot of TVPs. We wrap up our first series, and up next we have Cure versus NightMare. Now, if you were here yesterday, we were live here with the initial round, with round 1, and Cure, he was up against Creator, and they had a banger of a best of 5. Went all the way to the ace match. It was a back and forth. You could argue that Creator maybe should have won that series as well. There were games earlier on, especially on King's Cove, where Creator, he was ahead, he was in a good position, and mistakes were made. There were slip-ups, and Cure, he clawed his way back in. We had just a very much so a back and forth, and Creator, Cure barely came out on top. Creator got knocked down to the to the lower bracket, and now we have another Korean Protoss waiting for Cure. Let's go. I'm ready for it. A player that has been a little bit less active as of late. Unfortunately, I'm a big fan of NightMare, and he has been taking a bit of a step back as of late. For those that are curious, especially during the off-season, during most of last year, NightMare, he was very active in the online tournament scene, and during the off-season as well, NightMare, he was even more active than Hero. Like NightMare, he was playing in everything, playing in all these online open cups, playing in all these tournaments. But in December, specifically coming into December, NightMare, he stopped competing. He was less active. Instead of seeing him in everything, we'd see him like maybe in one tournament a week, if that. So it looks like coming into the holidays, coming into December, NightMare taking a step back, has been less active, and we'll see how he looks. We'll see what form he's in coming in against Cure. We shall see. I miss my NightMare. I miss it. Let's go. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Romanticide, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is NightMare. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Blue Terran player representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. We go. We are going to be settling into one of the older maps in that pool. Welcome one and all once again to Romanticide. That is a curious hold up. What's going on? Why is Romanticide here in the map pool? Well, here in the OSC Season Championship and mainly in OSC events in general, there is an extended map pool. There's an extended map pool where they do reintroduce some of these older maps. They introduce Romanticide alongside Gressvan. If you're maybe a newer viewer of StarCraft, of the esports side of things at least, you might not be familiar with this. But Romanticide was in the map pool back in 2021, I think it was around 2021, maybe beginning of 2022 as well. But it's been a couple of years. Since we've had Romanticide in the map pool. It's great to be back, and we'll see how our players do approach this. Romanticide is a very large map, very much so macro oriented as well. There's a ramp coming into the natural. Likewise, the third base is quite secure. Also a ramp headed towards that base. There is a mineral wall that you can mine through. You can also proxy on the other side and mine through those minerals. This is a very common proxy location, but for the time being, standard openers so far. And we are very much used to seeing some longer macro games on Romanticide. So far, economic opener, racks into expand at a Cure. Likewise, NightMare going for his own gate cyber expand as well. I'm sure these two have played many games on Romanticide in their career of StarCraft. And we'll see how we do open things up. Likewise, when it comes to the center of the map, it is not too wide open because of all these rocks, because of all these choke points. It's a reason why we often do see the map split in half. It is not too easy kind of breaking through these locations and gaining ground. Likewise, a little high ground, little points of elevation. There is a richardson gas geyser here that you can try to take advantage of. And NightMare is setting up for a proxy gateway. Okay, the proxy is on the way. Rebraz arrived, threatening the natural. Does threaten. Cure rotating up into the main. Looking for a way in. Attempting to scout the tech. Cybercore is done. Now, I'm assuming that this is just a proxy gateway, but we'll see if a NightMare commits into something a little bit different. Yeah, gateway. As the gateway is on the way. Now, this is just to reinforce. It's just to reinforce across the map. I believe the pylon might barely be within range to warp in on the other side of the wall as well. To harass, to reinforce. As NightMare does open up 3 gates. It's going to be a 3 gates. Reaper dips in, confirms the gateway, confirms there is no tech. There's no Stargaze, Twilight Council, or Robo not yet in the main. Tech is thrown down here at the natural. Going to be a Twilight Council. Delayed Twilight Council, might I add. He scouts. Yeah, he scouts, he checks. He does scout the proxy. Again, as we mentioned, this is just a very common location. Very common proxy location. And Cure, he remembers. Does remember. Does check. Does confirm. Does confirm. As the depths stay warping across the map. They can threaten a shade. There's a Widowmine in the mineral line. Oh. I'm moving in. 5 adepts. They're going to be denied. Shades in the light shot. Ooh, massive connection. One of them goes down. Massive damage. And with that, Curie shuts this down. The bait, the read out of Cure. He will clean this up. Nice Juggernaut. Nice Ducklings saves the Hellion. The control. Here, calm down. We don't... My god. We don't need to try this hard, Pappy. It's fine. Ooh, as the Hellion finally goes down. There we go. NightMare will clean it up. As Curie does shut down the pylon, we'll break down the proxy, and behind this is going into Banshee tank. Again, a very common follow-up here amongst the Korean Terrans. When we think about this build, we think of Byeon, we think of Maru, we think of Cure as well. Very aggressive. We'll see what he can get done. Oh no! As the medevac is called out. Nice movement here by NightMare. Does catch the medevac. Shuts down a couple of Marines. Marines do get picked up. Henry Goey's back at home. We have 2 gates in the main, a 3rd gateway, 4th gateway on the way as well. So 4-gate blink out of NightMare. But it is a delayed 4-gate blink, as it did start with the Adept Harass and the Adept Aggression. And NightMare, he will expand. Ooh, going for a tech first. Templar Archives dead into expansion. Hello, Storm. Okay. You have my attention. Not Colossus. NightMare's being active. Cure, his drop is deflected. Forced back home. Building up his army. Now the Observer is aware of the tech labs at least. But did he spot the Banshee? Now this is not too heavy of a commitment here. It is only a singular regular Banshee, not a cloak Banshee. And ideally you want to wait for something to distract. You don't want to go into the natural yet. You want to wait for another drop to come in, another army to threaten, typically. As Curie is lying in wait. Likewise, drop into the main. Going for the SCVs. Getting 3 SCVs so far, getting a 4th SCV as well. Very nice damage. Does get 4 workers. Going for the add-ons, takes down 2 of them. Once again, nicely done. At the same time, Banshee comes in while NightMare's distracted. He does warp in defensively back at home. That's going to be 4 probes going down. He gets 5. Well, it's going to be 6. 6 probe kills across the map. Nice damage here by Cure. Did take some losses, but he also deals some across the map. Lose some workers, does kill some workers as well. Going for his own drop. Storm is almost done for NightMare. High Templar gathering energy back at home. Observer gets spotted. And Cure, he's not going to be going for an all-in. He's expanding, getting a 3rd. Our first TVP today where we have a 3rd base. Let's go. 3rd is on the way. Cure moving out with his drop. Here comes the main arm. Remember, Storm is ready. Oh. Storm is ready. Ooh, massive potential going up, getting a Stalker. Bit of miscontrol there by NightMare. And the High Templar, they've loaded up. Yeah, that's 4 High Templar, at least 4 Storms. Proxy goes down. Drop across the map into the mineral line. Do we have a recall? Do we have a warp in? He commits. The tanks are exposed. He gets 1. He gets 2. Storm's going to be going off. Massive connections. Oh my god. The Storms, they shut down the bio. They shut down the tanks. And NightMare, he can just send it. There's nothing left. This is what a handful of Marauders. The boys are being pulled. Cure's in trouble. Across the map, he's taking damage though. 9 probes going down. But we might have another Storm. Oh, does he send it? He does. Yeah, Storm here in the mineral line. SCV's going down. Bunker should fall. Oh, I say that, the repairs are too good. And across the map, that's 21 probes. Oh my god, he's killing everything. Cure, the double drop of Marines. They're ending the game. There's a recall. He recalls back home. There's nothing left. 33 probes left. Barely an economy. And Curie's on 3 CCs. Oh my god, the Mass Mule. The Mule Hammer. Let's go. Cure, he lost his main army, but he survives. He has an economy, and NightMare, that was not worth it. If only he hadn't lost so many workers. What was that? How many? 33 probe kills. Crazy. 33 workers going down in total. Ay, ay, ay. Again, it was a beautiful dive and then some solid Storms out of NightMare, but just did not have enough to end the game. Couldn't close it out. And now Cure, he's skyrocketing ahead. He's just skyrocketing ahead at this point. He's on a 3-base economy, getting to the rest of his upgrades, his production, building up, getting further ahead, and the longer this goes on, the worse it is for NightMare. Now, can he recover? He can. With what? With storms. As previously, if he gets some juicy connections, if he's able to collapse on the bio army or get into the mineral line, then he can recover. But it's a big if. And the problem is now Cure knows that there's storm. And now you can see he's pre-split. Like he's just pre-spread here, ready for storms. You can see, like, intentionally making sure he doesn't clump up. Intentionally getting ready for the storms. NightMare moving in. Can go for the mineral line. I mean, he has to. SV's going to be going down. Good storms. Only 3 so far. Another storm in the main army. But this time there's so many more marauders. Cure, he can tank some storms. The High Templar up. He gets 1. He gets 2. Massive pickups. Takes down 2 High Templar, and NightMare, he's in trouble. He's in a lot of trouble here. Drop back into the natural. And going for the Templar Archives. Ambitious. Doesn't quite get it. Templar Archives does survive. And Cure, he's moving out. He's moving out with a death blow of an army. Even with some good storms, I'm not so sure he can be stumped. Vikings age away. Oh, the Prism goes down. The High Templar as well. The Templar with the Prism, and I believe that's all the storms. No, okay, there's 5 left. There's 5 High Templar. Charge, let's say dive in. Storms, they do. I mean, there's feedbacks. There's a couple of storms. Forcing a bit of friendly fire. Nice pre-spread here by Cure. Spreads out the army, stims in, takes down a High Templar. There's 1 High Templar left. Oof. Another storm popping up. But again, these are still rough trades here for NightMare. Cure is pushing himself up the ramp. He wants those Stalkers. He wants that Archon. Gets EMP up. Archon goes down. And there's no shield batteries. No shield batteries. GG gets called as NightMare gets broken. And Cure, he will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played, Cure. Having a rough start to the game in a way, or I should say a really strong moment for NightMare, catching out the main army, taking down both of those tanks, landing some insane storms on the bio. It looked like it was over then and there, and I was paying little attention to the drops just because at the time, I think initially they got like 9 probes. They killed 9 workers. I was like, oh, 9 workers, that's it. But the drops, they just kept going. They hit the main base, hit the third base as well. They got 27 probe kills in total, alongside the worker kills killed earlier by the Banshee, 33 in total with that. GG. GG, well played. NightMare's economy was crippled, and NightMare did not break Cure back at home. Cure, he barely held on with the repairs. GG. GG, well played. Cure takes the lead. Whew, but that was a close one. That was could have gone either way. The drops, the medevacs, the Marines, they were the MVPs, pappy. MVP double drop. And now we're getting into game number 2. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amygdala, we have the red Protoss player representing Streamer Zone. It is NightMare. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back and make a series out of this. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran, representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. We go. Hello, Cure. What's going on? As we are setting up for a proxy. It's going to be, I would imagine, a proxy. Yep, proxy racks here on the other side of the map. Based on its location, looks like proxy Reaper to dive into the main to get some economic damage early on, to wreak havoc, and to give himself a nice little lead. Now, the added complexity to this isn't just proxy Reaper. This SCV can also throw down a bunker on the low ground as well, behind the mineral line, to also wreak some havoc, and to have a bit of an outpost here for the Reaper to fall back to. So we'll see if he goes for the bunker as well. So Cure is setting up. Yesterday, if you were here, Cure, he did a proxy Marauder creator. That did happen, but this isn't really the setup for a proxy Marauder. Not quite. As we should be seeing a factory back at home. Reaper's on the way. Meanwhile, NightMare, he did initially start the Zealot, does cancel, goes for the expansion. Standard opener out of NightMare. Here comes that Reaper. The SCV does pull back home, does not go for the bunker behind the mineral line. So Curie doesn't invest as much or as heavily. And what I should emphasize as well is that that bunker move is significantly weakened in the latest patch. As a reminder, you can no longer salvage. Or, I mean, you can try, but nowadays, if you attack a salvaging building, it cancels the salvage. So it is less viable to go for that bunker. Less viable than it used to be. True. Meanwhile, Curie does dip in. Does head for the mineral line. Getting one probe so far. Good start. Gets one probe. Can he get two? So far, kiting back. Boys being pulled. Nice control here by NightMare. Does pull away the weakened probes. But he's getting behind the mineral line. Oh, not quite. Is zoned away. Adept arrives, and NightMare defends. So far, so good. NightMare did lose one probe, but only one. A lesser player would have lost more. So some nice defense. Second Reaper has arrived. Back at home, Curie going to be expanding. There's that factory on the high ground. Is transitioning. But Lassie has kept both Reapers alive. Just threatening NightMare. Keeping up the pressure. Behind this, we have our Stargate opener out of our Protoss. Again, makes sense. On some of these larger maps, it is much more viable to open up Stargate. Amygdala does count. And with this, NightMare can open up Oracle or Phoenix. We'll see what he goes for. Oh, the Reapers, they do have the way with the Adepts. Ay, ay, ay. They do outrange the Adept just barely. They get some free damage. Curie pulls away. Rotating into the main. Adepts, they keep up. NightMare, he will force this back. Checking the vision. Curie, he did not scout the tech. He's unaware as to what's going on. Back at home, playing it safe, opening up Cyclone into, I would imagine, Viking. Oh, medevac, never mind. With the arrival of the medevac, that should mean that Curie is going to be being more aggressive here. First Cyclone has arrived, catches out the Adept. Massive pickup. Ooh, Adept goes down. And Curie's going to be reinforcing, going to be rallying across the map. NightMare in a bit of trouble. Moves out with the Oracle. Here comes the lock on. Boys are being pulled. Adept is going to go down. Massive pickup. And NightMare's in trouble. He's in a lot of trouble here. Probes are going down. He has one Adept left. And he might lose everything here. Cyclone taking a lot of hits. Oracle does dive into the mineral line. SV's going to be going down. Stalker rallies in. Is going to be shut down though. Yeah, Reapers, they will clean it up. Stalker does fall. Second Cyclone does arrive. Oracle across the map getting 4 SCVs. This is good damage, but is it enough? As Curie still popping up. Reaper in the main base, distracting the Adept. Boys are surrounded. Let's go. The citizens arrest. The Cyclone gets surrounded. Medevac arrives too late. Medevac, there's nothing here. Medevac has to back off. Across the map, 7 SCVs, but alas, it looks like the Oracle does get away. Okay. Okay. Calm down. Calm down. Where are we? Reaper goes in. Getting a bit more scouting information. But won't get much more done. Has NightMare. He is working towards Blink. Blink is on the way. Taking a moment here. Curie, he is down 5 SCVs, but he has mules, so he can sustain himself. Likewise, now taking up into his 3-1-1 setup into Stim, combat shields, and tank production. We're calming things down. We're settling into a longer game. We're calming down, Pat. We're calming down. But NightMare isn't done. NightMare, he has map control. He has the Oracle to threaten the main, and we have Stalkers to threaten the natural. Blink is almost done. Now, thankfully, Curie, he has a tank. He has a tank. He has a bunker. He's looking quite secure here at the natural. The main base, less so. Stim is vulnerable. And NightMare, he could dive into the main. He could try and deny Stim. That is an option. NightMare, what does he go for? Adept threatening a shade. Stasis is set up. There's no tank on the high ground. The Oracle does confirm. And now it's time. Send it, Pappy, send it. Up, Blink's in. Viking goes down. Nice pickup. But the tank has arrived. Did we take too long? Yeah, we did. Tech Lab, it will survive. Stim should finish. Tank repositions. Cure holds. Cure does hold. It was a nice pickup here going for the Viking, but Cure, he does hold on. Behind this, NightMare taking a third base. Containing his opponent. Does contain. Getting a couple of SCVs. That's 3 SCVs going down. Shade into the main. Doesn't quite commit. Does get eyes on the add-ons. As one stim finishes, Cure can break out. Can break out. Still zipping back. Didn't know about salvage. Yeah, it is new to the most latest patch. They changed the latest patch, which is why, if you've noticed in pro games, we have been seeing less bunkers here in Mineral Lines. Because now you can't salvage, basically. Can't salvage, so it's a bigger commitment from Terran players. So that kind of addition to like Reaper harass has been taken away. Or has been phased out, I should say. Security does defend, third CC on the way, not going for an all-in. And Curie, he now breaks out. He can now expand. We can get into an embrace, a longer game set here. We can get into the mid-game. Let's go! We have a back and forth. NightMare, meanwhile, finishing up charge. Committing to a gateway heavy composition. Oracle back into the main. 2 more SCVs. This Oracle's done quite a lot, actually. 12 kills. 12 SCVs. NightMare, he breaks out. Oh, sorry, Cure breaks out. Takes out 2 Stalkers, 3 Stalkers. Oh, gets almost a 4th Stalker as well. Rough losses here for NightMare. And bleeding out a lot of units. Has to race back. Curie has momentum. Moving out across the map. Charge is done. Bear that in mind. Zealot drop into the main. And NightMare, he can collapse on the army. He does have enough. SCV's going down. Cure consolidating. But Cure, honestly, this army is looking exposed. And NightMare dives in. Cure has to get the hell out of here. Does pick up the tanks. Oh no! Oh my god. Does barely get away. One more volley. One more shot. The tanks, they survive. Oh my god. Okay. Blinks. Doesn't quite reach. Cure gets the hell out of there. And NightMare takes a 4th. 4th base is on the way. NightMare, I'm sure he's tempted. Going for another massive warp in. NightMare, he has momentum with mass charge lots. Alas, Cure, he is lacking SimCity here. Wouldn't mind repositioning. There are 2 tanks, 1 on the high ground. Sorry, 2 on the high ground. NightMare looking for a surround. Coming in from both angles. And NightMare, he should have enough to clean this up. The high ground tank's going to be an issue, but the Prism does get eyes on them. Going for the warp in, does distract within range, and NightMare, he commits. Mine shot's going to be going up. Big connections on the Zealots, but the tank's going to go down. Tanks do 4. NightMare focuses down the Medivacs. Gets 1. Oh, and he won't quite break through this. There's still that 1 tank on the high ground as well. NightMare forced to pull back. And that was a big investment. Does pull away. Cure, he does hold. Did cost him 2 tanks, but he does hold on. As NightMare catches a couple of transferring workers. 4th base getting up and running. Again, there's no gases here at the 4th or at the 3rd, and even just 1 gas here at the natural, so very gateway focused, very zealot heavy. Very zealot heavy. As NightMare is teching, making 1 Colossus at a time. Here come the Zealots, they just keep coming. And he can try to get into the mineral line. Wouldn't mind does scouts. Cure is aware. Rotate over. Spots the Zealots. Mindshell connects. Once again, good connection. And NightMare, he's just poking wherever he can. Building up his Colossus. Likewise, Cure getting to ghost production. Still very tense here for Cure. As the Observer sees everything. And NightMare, he's free to take more bases. Take more expansions. Personally, I would love to see more gases. I'd love to see like a 2nd, maybe even a 3rd gas geyser here on the way and getting a 2nd row before more Colossi. But NightMare for now just going for a Swarm Tusk style. Just mass gateway units. Let's go. As NightMare, he's rallied into the main. He still has eyes on the main army. Prism does dive in. Cure, he does notice. Does pull back. As he's pulled out of position, here come the Zealots. But Cure, he is still in position. He's ready for this. Zealots are going to be deflected. Got to pull away. NightMare pushing in. Gets a turret. Doesn't get much. Prism goes down to the Vikings. And Cure holds. Cure, he is holding. NightMare, he's just unable to pull Cure apart. And now here we go. Second robo on the way. Disruptor production does take the second gas geyser here at the natural. So finally able to afford a second robo. Cure moving out. When it comes to a head-on engagement, I do favor Cure. He has a lot of ghosts, a lot of EMPs. Vikings are ready as well. Cure, he has momentum. As he moves out, NightMare setting up for a run by. Actually coming back with those Zealots. Cure simming across. Knocking down those rocks, allowing for reinforcements. NightMare moving in. Oh, stasis goes off. Nice stasis. Stasis trap does connect. This is a field. Oh no! Oh, another one as well. Now's the time. Now's the time. Zealots collapse in. They catch out the ghost. NightMare coming in from behind. A little bit misjudged, or it's not quite synced up. But regardless, another stasis. They just keep popping up. The stasis traps. Oh my god. The first stasis does run out. But the ghost is still going to be going down. The Colossus, they stand strong. And NightMare, he just shuts down the army, picks it apart. Vikings are falling. Colossus are still alive. Ghosts, they do come out of stasis just in time to go down. They get a massive fight here for NightMare. Here he falls back. Racing back home. Down in supply quite heavily. Is there a War Prism? Not quite. No War Prism. Delayed reinforcements. Warping in 11 Zealots at a time back at home. Results are on the way. Mate, this Oracle's still alive, by the way. It's got 12 SCV kills and all these stasis traps. It's crazy. The power of energy overcharge. They just don't stop. And again, this is kind of like the new... I was almost going to say the new meta, but this is something that you see more often now in modern StarCraft in the new patch. Thanks to the energy overcharge, these Oracles, they just have so much more value here in every matchup, actually. So you see these stasis traps, these stasis fields. And Curie takes them to the face. More stasis, they just keep going. This is all from one Oracle. Let's go. He just has so many stasis traps inside him. It's crazy. Let's go. Curie now taking a fourth. Likewise, NightMare getting a fifth. NightMare rotating. Disruptors have arrived. They're with the main army. Dark Templar wielding across the map, headed towards the expansion. There's a turret to defend. And NightMare, he's maxed out. Oh, the EMP. Nice EMP. EMP goes off. And NightMare, he does commit. Novas, they do spread out. They take down one of the ghosts. Ooh, and a decent connection on the right-hand side. But is that good enough? Only 2 connections. The Colossus, they go down. Zealots, they charge in. They collapse here on the ghosts. Yeah, and Curie's being overwhelmed. EMPs are good, but it's not good enough. As Curie's being chased down, the ghosts are falling, the Vikings, the Medivacs, everything is going down. And behind this, NightMare just rallies across, warping in 11 Zealots at a time. He's not done. The Novas! Oh my god, they don't quite connect. Second Nova does. The third Nova takes down the turret. And here come the Zealots. Here come the reinforcements. GG gets called, and NightMare ties up the series 1-1. Whew, GG. Let's go. GG, well played. And NightMare, he does fight back. With a much more chaotic style, of course. If you recall, this was a more swarm toss style, staying on a lower gas count, higher zealot count, higher gateway count, of course. Initially, it wasn't really paying off. He wasn't really able to pull Cure apart. Cure was doing an amazing job defending, keeping up with the zealots, keeping up with the run-bys, keeping up with the multi-pronged aggression, shutting down the warp prisms. but it all went south when Cure moved out into the center of the map. The push was good, but if you remember, he rotated through the center and he took 3 stasis traps to the face. With that, NightMare took full advantage of Cure. If it wasn't for the stasis traps, I feel like Cure, I mean, I favored his army. I did favor his army at the time. This was before there were any disruptors, of course. Cure had an insane army, but he got picked apart. Got picked apart then and there. GG. With that, we have a tied series, a tied score, and we're here to find out who takes the lead in the series. We're jumping into game 3. Let's go. Let's go. Here it just got chills when those stasis popped off. Ah, you're not wrong. He doesn't know why, but a shiver ran down his spine. Here he's gonna like create like a PTSD Oracle group, and Cure's gonna join. He's gonna be there for Hero. They're gonna be there for each other. Oh no, the PTSD. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Gressvan, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Streamer Zone. It is NightMare. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Terran player representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. Here we go, as we are going to be settling in. And of course, welcome one and all to Gressvan. Once again, this is one of the older maps in the map pool. We did feature Romanticide earlier in this series, and now we're here on Gressvan. Gressvan, this was circa, what, 2022? Like 2022, coming into 2023 as well. So a bit of a more modern map in the map pool. It hasn't been too long since we've seen Gressvan, but of course, back in its era, back in its heyday, this was the macro map. Very large map in the map pool. Long resistance by ground, very defendable as well. We do often see a lot of late game on Gressvan, but we'll see if we can get there. We'll see how both Cure and NightMare approach this in modern day. As of course metas have changed, metas have adjusted. For now, economic open out of Cure, going for a Rax expand. He's skipping his Reaper. Not uncommon for Terran players to do so. So no SCV scout, no Reaper scouts. Cure is just more focused on cutting corners and focusing on his own build. Now, because there's no SCV or Reaper scout, typically there is a Hellion follow-up, and you usually just dive with the Hellion. You just sacrifice it to get some kind of scouting information. That should be what Cure goes for. We'll see. We shall see. Oh no, it's bring back the super battery, too much stasis. I mean, in general, I think most players are fond of, I think the only people that complain about not having the super battery are like people on Reddit, like people that don't play the game. Like I think, I think the consensus amongst all pro players, like Protoss and non-Protoss alike, are that they enjoy the energy overcharge just because it requires, or it does give you more flexibility as a player. It's a little bit more microable, of course, as well. It isn't just set and forget like a super battery overcharge. So in general, I think everyone feels like it is a positive change. And I would agree with that. Good change. More interactive than just, you know, supering a battery. As we do have our tech of choice, going to be a Twilight Council opener here out of NightMare. Oh. Twilight Council into Blink. As it does recall away. Oh my god, barely nuts, never mind. Wasted recall here out of NightMare. Nice pick off by Cure. And he is building up, soon to move out. As I mentioned before, again, Hellion follow-ups are quite common here if you do skip your initial Reaper. So Hellions have built up. And not just Hellions, a Widow Mine drop as well, as we're committing into a quadruple mine drop. It's going to be 4 Widow Mines and a medevac, very committed here by Cure. We'll see what he can get done as Cure moves out. He does commit across the map. NightMare trying to keep up. Behind this, how many gateways? Jesus, going into a 4-gate blink. I mean, this used to be MaxPax's 4-gate blink map. You're not wrong. Used to be very fond of it. But now NightMare fully walls up. Hellions, they are denied. But here comes the drop. Drop towards the natural. And I believe this drop will get eyes on all the gateways. Does see 2 here at the wall, and we'll see 2 more behind the wall as well. So big scout for Cure. Widow Mines, they do get dropped in. Boys, they pull away. Ooh, getting 2 probe kills. 2 workers go down. Widow Mines into the main, and NightMare, is he paying attention? Is he noticing? He is. Adepts are ready. Mine shots here on the workers. Once again, 4 probes for Widow Mines. Up, and 1 Widow Mine is saved. Nice moves here by Cure. Does save the Widow Mine, but he has to set up back at home. Remember, 4 gate blink. We have 4 gateways. We have the river. We have the War Prism as well. Sorry, 5. Wait, 5? Oh, no, 4. Wait, 5? What? Okay, let's go. This is borderline 2 base all in. I just made the assumption that it was going to be 4 gateways, but never mind. There's an extra gateway here, and NightMare is moving out. Back at home, what do we have? We have a bunker. We have a bunker on the low ground. Tanks are spreading out. Tank in the main. Now, the reason why this map, Gresvan, was known for Blink Stalkers, I mean, 1, max packs. He did almost nothing but 4 gate blink on Gresvan because of how large the main is. The main base is so large, you can blink into the main, be out of range of the tank, and rotate further back into the mineral line as well, and still be out of range of the tank. Like, the main base is just so large. NightMare, he will expand. Ravenhrast coming in. NightMare moving out. And NightMare, he doesn't reinforce. He's just expanding and just going to be harassing him with 4 Stalkers. Does poke in. Marines are in position. So far, good defense here by Cure. Up. Prism taking a lot of hits. And will it die? Does abandon one of the Stalkers. At the same time, auto charge just going ham. 4 more probes going down. Cure, he's all over this. Denies the Prism. Gets damage across the map. And he scouts the 3rd. Cure, he is aware. And this has just been a really shaky and inefficient start here for NightMare. Extra gateways that didn't really come into play. Delayed 3rd base as well. Now he's taking up into Charge, into Temple Archives, into Archon production as well. He needs to get more damage done. This is nice. Flexion his micro. Ooh. Getting a couple of Marines. Doesn't lose any additional Stalkers. This is okay damage. But he's hoping for more. Going for the tank, let's go. Drops on top of the tank. Shouldn't get much done though. As Curie does repair. Saves the tank. NightMare being cheeky. Curie moving out. So he does commit. He gets towards the south side. Curie, he doesn't have to stay in. Oh, Prism taking a lot of damage. Again, Curie is committing across the map. And NightMare is getting ready. Storm is almost done. Likewise, drop into the main. Yo, I'm getting flashbacks from Romance's side. Okay, he does whip it back at home. He will defend. It's going to be 3, 4 probe kills. But again, Storm is ready. And Curie doesn't commit. Did I say 3? 9 probe. Oh my god. 9, 10 workers going down. Curie intentionally targeting down every single probe he can. And he will escape. He will get away. Does pull back. NightMare, he's committed. He was hoping to fight the army out in the open. Now back at home, it's going to be that much more difficult. Does have a storm in the War Prism. Does have a storm. More Archons moving in, or warping in even. But I'm not so certain that NightMare can break this. He's going to try though. Once again, more probes going down. He commits. No, oh my god, no! The Prism goes down! The Prism goes down. Storm is coming in. Tanks are exposed. He gets 1. But the spread is too good. And he might get 2 tanks, but alas, Curie should be able to hold on here. Yeah, the final tank does fall, takes out the Archons, Cure holds. GG gets called as NightMare, he was committed, he was all in, and Cure takes a 2-1 lead. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Again, NightMare, he had no economy behind this. He had lost far too much to the drop play. He was already far behind when it came to the opener as well. And it was all or nothing for NightMare. Alas, Cure, he was very well set up. NightMare, earlier, he was hoping that Cure would commit. If you remember when Cure, he was being active on the map, he was only posturing. If he had tried to push into the bases, then NightMare, he could have taken the fight. He could have fought out in the open, gotten a surround, collapsed on the army, Storm, of course, as well. And NightMare could have snowballed from there. Cure, thankfully for him, did pull back. He pulled back, went back home, more defensive setup instead. GG. GG, well played with that. Cure takes a lead, and Cure is now one game away from advancing on into the next round. NightMare, he has to bring it back here and now to force the ace match. Let's go. Let us go. This morning, in the bottom right-hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss representing Streamer Zone, down in the series. That's a fight back here and now. It is NightMare. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Terran player from South Korea representing Team Liquid. Well, no matter, one more game is all he needs. It is a Cure. We go. Go. So we are going to be settling in. This time, Cure not going for a proxy. Rax back at home. And welcome one and all to Whispers of Gold, of course, a small map of the map pool known for aggression, known for being in the face of your opponent. NightMare, he has been embracing this more gateway-heavy composition with delayed splash damage and faster charge and faster storm. I do favor that kind of style here on Whispers, but we'll see. We'll see if NightMare does mix it up. As he has gone for Stargate openers as well. I'm not too fond of Stargate play on Whispers of Gold, but we'll see. See if he goes for a likewise Cure as well. For now, Economic Opener, Rax Expand, single gas geyser here from the Terran player. We'll be getting a faster CC. Likewise, NightMare opening up standard back at home. Rax into Cybercore, into Nexus. Meanwhile, 2 games in a row. Looks like Cure, he's going to be even delaying his first Marine here, going Rax straight into CC. Is skipping his Reaper as well, so no SCV Scout, no Reaper Scout. Cure, he has no idea what's going on across the map. He doesn't care, just focusing on his own opener. And again, as with the previous game, should follow this up with Hellions to get some scouting information as well. At least later on. So we'll be scouting with a follow-up. For now, just focusing on defense. We should be seeing a safety bunker here as well. As Cure, he's at least scouting for a proxy. Making sure he doesn't get caught with his pants down. We go. Does check. We have our tech of choice. Going to be a Twilight Council opener here out of NightMare. It's going for the Twilight Council. Once again into Blink. Now again, last game we had just a really awkward build with like 5 Blink Stalker into 0 Warpins. Like it was crazy. Definitely something different out of NightMare on Gressvan. But now it's moving out. We have a second gateway on the way. So far, 2 Blink. We'll see if he throws down a 3rd gateway as well. Or if he just throws down a 3rd Nexus. What is it going to be? Meanwhile, the Hellion has arrived. Once again, going to be avoiding the Adept. This time only 1 Hellion, as last game it was 2. Medevac is on the way. And we're not going for a Widowmine drop. Are we going for a tank drop? Tech Lab, there's no add-ons up here. Tech Lab is done on the factory. Going for the Cyclone. Cyclone is on the way. Cure being a lot more aggressive here early on. Marine, Cyclone, Hellion. Initial drop here, moving out. And it's on NightMare to figure out what's going on. It's on NightMare to scout. As he is getting a 3rd gateway. Very safe play out of NightMare. 3rd gateway. Robo before expanding. But he has no presence on the map. And here comes the drop. Here comes the Mass Marine drop towards the main. Hellion towards the natural. The Cyclone does stay back at home. So not as committed here for Cure. And we'll see what he can get done. Drop into the main. NightMare, he does notice, he does respond. And Cure's going to try to focus on some of those workers. Likewise, Hellion towards the natural mineral line as well. Oh, does pick away. Does pick up, does get away. Likewise, Hellion is going to be shut down. Nice defense here by NightMare. Doesn't really lose much of anything. Defends both bases and holds. Whew. Does hold on. Blink is done. And now NightMare can expand it. Check the vision of Cure. What did he see? He did confirm Blink, of course. He saw the gateways. He saw the lack of extra gateways as well. Should be feeling relatively safe. Back at home, Bunker on the low ground. Tank on the high ground is securing himself. And NightMare, for the first time this series, a Blink opener into a bay, then into a third base. I mentioned earlier that NightMare has been going for this very heavy gateway composition with early charge into just mass zealots, into delayed gases. That is not the case here. This time, earlier gases and earlier tech into Colossus. So much more of a standard composition here by NightMare. Just Blink Stalker into Colossi. It's standard, which usually wouldn't be much to say about, but it's the first time this series, so hey, there you go. First time this series. Third base on the way. Likewise, Cure just building up. Getting to stim, into tanks, into medevac production as well. Looks like he's making his final tank here before the add-on swap. As we are settling in. First Colossus should be out in time for the push. So NightMare should be secure. And likewise does have some spotter units out of the map as well. The Adept, the Observer. He has eyes on Cure. See if we can just calm things down, embrace our economies, get our third bases up and running. Cure, he's yet to expand. It's still a little bit too soon for the Terran. Just building up first. And he should be moving out with Stim. Stim and Combat Shield still a ways off. Third base going to be on location. Third base has been thrown down. And once the upgrades kick in, then Cure can move out. So much more passive game here on Whispers. Much more passive. I mean, it's been an intense series. It's been crazy, man. It's been crazy. We're calming things down. Taking a breath. The upgrades are just about to finish. They're finishing up, and here comes the move out. Here he does push. The Observer does spot this. Curie spots the Observer. Observer goes down. NightMare, he's now aware that Cure is being active. Dropping into the main. NightMare, he does warp in. Is somewhat ready. Just too slow because the upload does complete. Force a recall. Massive recall into the main. Losses are ready. Drop is going to be deflected. And he focuses on the medevac. He gets up. Oh, barely nods. Gets one. One full medevac goes down. Nice defense here by NightMare. At the same time, they'll run right towards the third. But Cure is ready. Curie defends. Likewise, upon seeing the army, Curie backs the hell off. He's like, you know what? I don't want to push into Colossus. Backs off, retreats, just going for drop play, and getting into Viking production instead. Meanwhile, NightMare, he has gained map control. He knows it. He's hoping to find the army out in the open. Fourth base on the way. Temple Archives into Storm. Interesting. Not going for a second Robo. Not going for additional Colossus into Disruptor. Not yet. As the drop is activated once again. Does spot the army. Storm is being chronoed as we speak. And likewise, Cure, he's embracing Ghost production. So both players just taking up. We have Viking Ghost on the way for Cure. We have Storm on the way for NightMare. Even going for Warpism speed. Let's go. Potential Storm drops. Or just harass in general. as that is 4 high tempo in the War Prism. Now, we have seen some disastrous mines on War Prisms already this series. So, hopefully we're a little bit more careful. Like, the scary thing here is that this Prism, it's about to be zooming with this upgrade, and that means it can zoom faster into a Widow Mine. So, be very careful. I can see it already as Akira, he does have this minefield set up. Fortifying his army. NightMare ready for a Zealot run by. He has Zealots towards the left, Zealots towards the right. Ready for the push. Storm is now done. How many goes we have? 5. 5 goes so far. Army gets spotted. NightMare, he responds. Going for the tank. Up. Very nice pickup. He gets 1. 1 tank goes down. Down to 2. Storm's coming in. Oh my god. That Prism is so fast. like scarily so. It's like, wear your seatbelt. Don't crash in. Calm down. Be careful. Response. Nice on the Ravens. Raven goes down. Nice Storm. First Storm goes off. Second Storm as well. Out of the Prism does go down. Yeah, Prism goes down to the Vikings. No more Storms left. Colossus are exposed. Oh, this is not the fight. NightMare losing almost everything. Oh my god, he just melts. The Prism falls. The Colossus. We have 1 more Storm coming in, but there's nothing left. Oh, takes the Storm to the face. But Curie sims it. He sims and he wins. He breaks through the army. Busts into the mineral line, and there's nothing left. There's just nothing here. GG gets called, and Cure, he will take the series at 3-1. GG. GG. Well played. A very abrupt end to that fight. It was just it was very sudden where NightMare, he collapsed in, lost everything. It was the tanks, they were pre-siege, a nice pre-spread from Cure as well. He was ready for a fight, and NightMare, he gave it to him. Ideally, you do want to catch the army off guard, catch it on siege if at all possible. You know, start off with a couple of storms, take things a little bit slower, but NightMare, he just committed then and there, lost everything in the process. GG. GG, well played. With that, Cure will take the series, and Cure does advance on into the next round. GG, well played. With that, we do have some updates here to catch up on. Let's go. Let us go. So we switch our scenes over, and we are now halfway through the broadcast. We just wrapped up with our first 2 matches. SKillous took down Nickrex 3-0. Cure takes down NightMare 3-1. And we have 2 matches left here tonight in the upper bracket, round 2, day number 2 of the OSC Season 12 Championship. We have a best of 5 between Wayne and Christiana, and a best of 5 between Clem and Shameless. Cool, so we have another TVP to end the night, but hey, we have some Zerg. It's crazy. We have a ZVP coming up next, and I feel like this is going to be a close one here. It's going to be a close one. We mentioned previously how Wayne, he has been a little bit less active towards the tail end of 2024. He has been less active. In Wayne's absence, young Yakov, he was the player kind of rising to kind of fill his shoes at the time. But coming into December, Wayne, he's back. He is getting back in form. He has been on that grind, playing in more online tournaments. Likewise, Christiana, instead of taking a break, Christiana, he has been around all year. And he's been looking very strong, improving so much, just improving so much over the course of 2024 and taking down bigger and bigger names towards the end of the year. Of course, it was in recent weeks that Christiana, he 2-0'd Björn and he 2-1'd Creator. He qualified for the Lille League Cup. It was a very impressive performance out of Christiana in those qualifiers, and we've seen him more regularly defeat a Laser. A Laser has been falling more and more frequently against Christiana. So Christiana, he has just been leveling up in general, and he's looking to secure himself as one of the best Protosses in Europe. Likewise, Wayne, I feel like he's going to be a good contender for that, and I'm hoping for a back and forth. I'm hoping for potentially an ace match. We have yet to experience a Game 5. We could see one here. For now, we're going on a break. For now, we're going to be going on a short break. When we come back, 2 more best of 5s are coming up next. See you guys in a couple of minutes. See you guys soon. Take this moment to drain your disruptors, massage your marines, and hydrate all of your hydras. We'll be back in 5 with our ZVP. See you soon. Yeah. Also, a shout out to Robology. Thank you so much, Robology, for the Twitch Prime. Thank you, Puppy. You did that just as we left. Thank you so much for the Twitch Prime. We appreciate it. Be back soon after the break. Be back soon. welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the OSC Season 12 Championship Upper Bracket Round 2. We just wrapped up with the first two matches of the broadcast with our first two TVPs, SKillous, Nickrat, Cure, and NightMare. We have just wrapped them up, and now we are here with the second half of the broadcast. We're going to be kicking things off here with Wayne versus Cristiano. We have a Zerg. Let's go. We have a ZVP. It's been far too long. It's been far too long. Let's jump right on in. Now, I say that, of course, we were here yesterday. We were here last night, featuring Wayne as well. If you were here for it, there was a crazy upset. Wayne, to make it this far in the tournament, who did he defeat in round 1? Classic. Wayne, he 3-1 Classic in a best of 5 to make it here to face up against Cristiano. A crazy result, a crazy series, and a crazy win for Wayne. And here he is. In the top right-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player. Top right-hand corner of ley lines, it is Wayne. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Polish Protoss player, the blue Protoss, representing Offside Esports. It is Cristiano. Here we go. Whew. And again, someone's asking in the chat earlier about whether or not these matches were live. I mean, the cast is live, but the matches, they are played ahead of time and submitted here to Eddie. Shout out to Eddie, of course, for organizing, for running the event, and for running the OSC Season Championship. Much love to old mate Eddie, of course. And because there's so many matches happening at once, they are played ahead of time and casted via replays. That is how we approach this, how we do the OSC Championship. But yeah, Wayne, he took down Classic yesterday, which was crazy, by the way. When it came to that series, when it came to that match, I should emphasize as well that it was a very aggressive series. Wayne all-ins like 3 out of 4 games, and Classic all-in 1 out of 4 games as well. Like, it was just all-in after all-in after all-in. It's a very short series. It was a best of 5. It was 4 games, a very short series. Wayne was hyper aggressive, and we'll see if Cristiano can survive the aggressive nature of Wayne. Now, in that previous series, Classic, time and time again, he did miss some of the tells of an all-in. He did miss the lack of saturation or the main army move out, the composition as well. He would often barely miss it and would catch him with his pants down. We'll see if Cristiano can keep up with the movement of Wayne. See if he can keep up. Let's go. Also, my apologies. I did forget something. Bam. Beautiful, beautiful. Just setting up the in-game logo. As of now, do have our hatch gas pool standard opener out of Wayne. Likewise, gate expanded to Cybercore here from Cristiano. Now, Cristiano, he's known for a certain style of play as well. We saw this last night, 2 nights ago, even with Cristiano versus Dark in the ZVP. Where Cristiano, he's very fond of this more Stargate opener into Archon Immortal heavy composition into the mid game. That is where Cristiano does thrive. That is his go-to, and we have seen him take down players of the caliber of a Laser, for example, time and time again. Even take it to Rainer with that style. We'll see if he can get there though, as again, it does thrive in the mid game more than anything, as Cristiano does force the linear third base instead, forcing Wayne to expand away from him, so creep is going to be more delayed from the side of the Zerg player, and the Stargate is soon to finish. As I mentioned before, a big shout out to Robology as well in the chat. Thank you so much. Thank you, Papi. Thank you for the Twitch Prime. Do appreciate the support. I hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoy the casting. Hope you enjoy the StarCraft. Hope you enjoy. As again, we're embracing our first broadcast of the day. Of course, later on tonight, we're going to be live with the Masters Coliseum, with the Masters Coliseum playoffs, I should emphasize, featuring players like Cyril, Rainer, Estrella, and Zaun. More PVZs, actually, purely PVZs tonight in that Masters Coliseum broadcast. You know, Wayne, he does move out, did invest into extra lings, making his way towards the third. Third base is yet to be thrown down, and we'll see if Wayne can force a cancel. Meanwhile, the Oracle does move out. Second Oracle's on the way behind this. When he will test the waters here at the natural, does go straight for the Nexus. Does go straight forward, so going for the pylon first. Pylon is going to go down, and can he force a cancel on the Nexus itself? With the Oracle coming in, not quite. Oracle does defend. Lings a threaten a dive. But nice hold position micro. Cristiano, he is on position. He does defend, he does hold. And so far, so good. He saves the expansion, does lose a pylon, which will delay the shield battery, which will delay any kind of warping reinforcements here, but regardless, does hold nonetheless. Across the map, the Oracle does dive in, gets one drone, just one. Oh no! The Oracle goes down! Ay, ay, ay. The Oracle does fall. Massive pickoff. Wayne, he holds well, only losing one drone, and that is a fast Eva chamber out of Wayne. That should be for fast +1 melee. +1 melee on the way. Now, typically, I would say that it should be +1 melee into Hydra Tech, but, you know, clearly we have seen Wayne go +1 melee into a Bane Bust, into Roach Ravager, into Spire play as well. There are options with how Wayne wants to follow this up. But typically, +1 melee does mean that you want to be skipping Roaches. Typically. The Oracle has arrived, does threaten a dive. But now going to be zoned away. Getting one drone. One drone going down. 4 Adepts, they do reinforce. They make their way towards that natural. Getting to the middle line, they get 1, they get 2 drone kills so far, not bad. They shade into the natural. Getting a 4th. Getting 4, almost 5 drone kills so far. Good trades here for Cristiano. Ling's having a hard time keeping up. Black-White's good position here behind the mineral line. A shades into the main. Once again, getting more drones. This is getting out of hand, by the way. 8 drone kills. Oh my god, 9. Can he get 10? Can he get 11? He can. 11 worker kills. Ay, ay, ay. Making up for the Oracle. Remember, the Oracle got 1 drone before going down, but the Adepts, they get 11. And with that, Wayne does fall behind economically. He is still re-droning, though. He's not going for an all-in. Is going for a massive counterattack, but is droning up. Does drone up. Stasis goes off. Lings, they get across the map. Oracle is in position. So far, Cristiano, he is keeping up. Does defend. Behind this, there was the Temple Archives, a +1, charge Archon production. We spoke earlier, but Cristiano, his go-to is Archon Immortal. Speaking of, there's the Robo. Robo is on the way. That should be for Immortal production. Well, Archons are building up. And Cristiano is securing himself. Well, we'll get surrounded, though. It does get surrounded. One Archon is going to go down. Massive pickup. Trading minerals for gas. Better trade here for Wayne. Back at home, getting to his own lair. Droning up, and yet to take gases. Again, our eyes are on the follow-up tech. Is it going to be a Hydrogen or something different? Going to be a Roach Warren. Okay. That I was not expecting, but it makes sense. Wayne, he just scattered, he just confirmed. He just confirmed it is Charge Archon. It is unsafe to skip Roaches against this kind of composition. If you go Ling Hydra, you just die. You just fall over and topple over then and there. So Wayne is playing it safe. Investing into Roaches. Meanwhile, the Robo is done. War Prism's on the way. No Immortals whatsoever. Just going for the Prism, going for an earlier move out. And are there going to be Roaches in time? Because this is going to hit like a truck. And there is no Storm, just purely Zealots and Archons. Let's recall back home. Oracle does recall. Lings are threatening a run-by. And here comes the move out. A terrifying army. And back at home, only Lings to defend. Uh-oh. There's 6 Roaches on the way, but again, the Roach production is delayed. The Roach production is late. Lings, they attempt to harass, but the Oracle's ready for this. That's Cristiano, he does move out. Does commit 14 Roaches in production. Wayne, he just needs more time. Just needs a little bit more time here. As Cristiano, he does hit the 4th. And the 4th bases should be going down. Boys, they try to pull away. Most of them do go down, though. 2 of them escape. Lings, they come in first round. Nice collapse here on the Zealots. But here come the reinforcements. The Archons, they move in. And Wayne, he cannot engage. Not yet. Coming in reinforcement with more Roaches. Roaches have arrived. The Queens are exposed. And the Queens are going down. Wayne is in a lot of trouble. The 4th base is going to fall at the same time across the map. There's cannons. There's shield batteries. Cristiano, he's holding. And Wayne, he's crumbling. Cristiano, he busts into the mineral line. Roaches, they get surrounded. Oh my god. Warping is denied. Only delayed. Warping is delayed. It does warp in once again. And GG gets called. Cristiano, he takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. A very successful initial attack with the vanilla adepts. The adepts, they just wreaked havoc. They got 11 drone kills, and the follow-up was brutal. As we mentioned before, even though Wayne eventually got into roaches, remember, it was a late roach warren. There was no +1 range. There was no roach speed either for that defense. Just because he had delayed the roach warren for so long, he did realize what was happening, but maybe realized too little too late, as he had to mainly rely on purely Ling to defend, at least initially. And with that, Cristiano takes the lead. Cristiano does take a lead. And again, this is what Cristiano's quite fond of. Again, going for this Charge Archon heavy composition. I mentioned before going into an Archon Immortal heavy composition, but this was an earlier attack. This was more of an aggressive build here by Cristiano. And I do favor aggression coming into this map as well. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the red Zerg player down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and make a series out of this. It is Wayne. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Polish Protoss player, the blue Protoss, representing Offside Esports. It is Cristiano. Here we go. Have Cristiano taking lead in the series so far. And again, Cristiano has been looking very much so in form as of late. Did have a rough series against Dark, is what I will say. We did cast him, again, a couple of days ago in Little League Cup in that PvZ. In the other matchups has been looking terrifying, has been looking quite competitive. But in this one, again, he's at times a little bit predictable here. So I'm curious if he's going to mix it up a little bit more. But now just going for the Probe Scout. Gate into Nexus. Likewise, Wayne across the map, going hatch, gas, pool. So far, everything looking as it should. No early spawning pool, no early gases, no early tech. And welcome to Whispers of Gold. Now, when it comes to this map, the map is quite small. Small map, short rush distance by ground, exposed third base, exposed fourth base. We've seen a lot of success here from Zerg and Protoss players alike, being hyper aggressive and going all in. We've seen a lot of successful all-ins here and successful attacks on Whispers of Gold. The reason for this is because your defensive setup at your third and fourth base is just a lot weaker here. You don't have any high ground, you don't have any ramps to take advantage of. Likewise, there's multiple angles of attack coming into the triangular third. Likewise, the fourth base here, or the linear third base, you can also just avoid and just attack the natural instead. Just a lot of different attack paths and a lot of different avenues here for the aggressing player. So it can be difficult to defend. Not impossible, but difficult. The map is working against the defender. And we'll see if anyone here does embrace that. For now, Stargate. Stargate opener by Cristiano. Pylon closer to the edge of the main. Stargate is on the way. Into Oracle, into a standard setup. Now, Wayne did have a strong start last game by sniping the first Oracle. We'll see if he can do that again. I would imagine that Cristiano's going to be a little more attentive this time with that Oracle. Be a little more careful. As Cristiano does poke in. Again, threatening a dive. Just keeping tabs here on the gases, on any hidden tech, on the saturation. Cristiano just scanning. Steps into threaten a shade. They threaten a shade in. They actually commit. Oh my god. He commits into the main. Gets one drone so far. Last Lings, they get a full surround. The second adept goes down as well. Nice defense here by Wayne. Shuts down the adepts, and that means that the third base is going to be more exposed for Cristiano. Wayne, he has gained map control. He's moving out across the map. And Cristiano, he stays on two bases, and he throws down a Robo. Interesting. Now with this Robo opener into a Twilight Council, this looks like an Archon drop. Should be Robo into a War Prism, into a Temple Archives, into Archons across the map. That should be the direction that Cristiano is headed in, but we'll see. The other option is Fast Immortals, but we're feeling a War Prism. As Wayne does try to poke in. So far, so good. We have 2 more gates on the way. As we mentioned, yep, War Prism into the Templar Archives, which should soon be thrown down. There we go. It is a little bit late. It's a little bit of a delayed Temple Archives. And again, this is just an Archon drop opener. It is a delayed Archon drop, that is true. And because of that, we also have a delayed third base as well. Typically, a faster variation of this is a DT opener into Archons. This hits later, that is true. But alas, is more macro-oriented. Third base has been thrown down. And here come the Archons. And the goal here is hunt down Overlords. Hunt down Overlords, hunt down Lings, shave off a couple of workers, maybe hunt down Queens as well. There is a lot of potential with these Archons. As they are warping in, and Wayne has yet to really confirm. He did see the Robo, so that is a tell, true. I mean, if we could read it, then Wayne can as well. A very common response to this is Spire play, like Spire into Mutas, but the lair is still not done for Wayne. Here comes the Archons. They make their way towards the middle line, going for the Queens. No transfuse. One Queen goes down. He gets 1. Can he get 2? He barely can. Second Queen falls. Can he get 3? That'll be a little bit ambitious. Yeah, it does pull away. But still, 2 Queen kills is a massive here for Cristiano. Has 3 Queens left. Cristiano containing his opponents. Roach speed is on the way. And Wayne, he's amassing up Roaches. Uh-oh. Wayne cutting workers at 55, less than 3 base saturation. Overlord's on the way, still making more Roaches, and Wayne, he might just go for an all-in. Now, on the one hand, yes, we did speak earlier how all-ins are favored, but at the same time, Oracle does harass, 4 drones going down. Archon's going for another Queen, doesn't quite get it, but does see the army. Does see the Roaches amassing. He wants the Queen, he wants it! Up! Oh my god. He wants the Queen. Calm down. Cristiano pulls away. The Queens, I mean, they're busy, of course. They were defending against the Archons. 7, 8, 9 drones going down. Ay, ay, ay. He gets 10. Can he? 11, 12, 13. Jesus. 13 workers go down. Insane damage, and here comes the all-in. Wayne, he is crippled. He has no economy. It's all or nothing for the Zerg. Back at home, there are Immortals. Force Fields, Immortals. Shield batteries on the way. Are they going to finish in time? Again, this entire time, Cristiano has been building nothing but Immortals. A 3rd Immortal has arrived. 4th one is on the way. He does shut down the army. He does Force Field. Locks it down. Nice juggling here with the Prism. Roach is being forced back. There are some Ravages at least. But that's still 3 Immortals. It's a terrifying army. The soup does lie. Like Wayne, he's up in army supply, but it's inflated supply. And with that, Cristiano is forcing this back. Roach's A2 slip into the mineral line. They slip into the main. Pulling Cristiano apart. Not bad. Oh! One Immortal does not go down. Roach's A trying to get into the mineral line. Shield batteries are exposed. Wayne, he's getting damage done. He's pulling Cristiano apart. So far, so good. Gets a pylon, gets some shield batteries. Roach is still wreaking havoc. They get 1 Immortal kill. 1 Immortal goes down. More probes falling. But what about the main push? What about the main army? Ravagers, they are denied. And Wayne, he's still all in, by the way. Still no saturation. Making purely Roaches and Lings. Lings, once again, they slip in. They bust into the main. Making their way into the mineral line. But the Roaches are still being chased down. And these are still rough trades. And the Immortals, they have arrived. GG gets called as Wayne, he runs out of steam. And Cristiano, he takes a 2-0 lead. GG. GG, well played. Cristiano just once again crippling Wayne early on. Game 1, it was the Adepts. Remember, it was the Adepts getting 11 worker kills. Here in Game 2, the Oracle. The Oracle getting 13 kills across the map. It was crazy. It wasn't just the Oracle, the Archons as well. Remember, they killed 3 Queens. 3 Queens went down alongside the 13 workers. And, I mean, one led into the other. Without the Queens, the mineral line was exposed. With that, he forced the all-in. And Cristiano, he was more than ready for it. He was just amassing Immortals the entire time. And the Roaches, they did nothing across the map. I mean, there was some nice moments out of Wayne when he got into the mineral lines, when he split off some units and he was trying to pull apart the attention of Cristiano. That was quite successful, but it just was not enough. And that leads us into game number 3. Leads us into the third game. And we're loading into King's Cove. The stupid's always lying. Oh no. Sometimes it tells the truth. Sometimes. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of King's Cove, we have the red Zerg player. We have the red Zerg down in the series 0-2. He has to fight back here and now to have a chance at the ace match. It is Wayne. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Polish Protoss player, the Blue Protoss representing Offside Esports. It is Christiana. We go. Again, Christiana looking good so far, looking strong. And again, just having a very different approach here to Classic. Classic, if you recall, he was playing Standard. He was just playing Standard, getting into a natural, into a third base, into a greater economy. And it was Wayne that was able to be aggressive against Classic, and Classic being caught being too greedy. Here, a bit of a reversal, as we've seen Wayne being forced into aggression time and time again, as Christiana has been more active instead early on. So a very different dynamic between Wayne and Christiana compared to Wayne and Classic. Oh, hello. As Wayne, he moves out with the drone, and he's setting up for a hatch block. Let's go. Drone has arrived. Hatch block on the way. Christiana, he gets it just in time. He does deny the hatchery. Big moment here for Christiana. Wayne back at home. Hatchery into gas pool. Later gas and later pool as well. And Christiana, he expands. Oh my god, spoke too soon. Drone still being active, still delaying the expansion, but there's a Nexus. And Christiana, he averts disaster. Ay. Wayne going for the gas steal. Not quite. Christiana, he beats him to it. Does throw it in the gas geyser. And Wayne is forced to expand. Again, so Wayne, his gases and pool are late, so he has to do something. Goes for a very fast third base to make up for that. It is a drastic move, but a move that is necessary here because of the disrupted build of Wayne. So later Queens, later Link production, later Link speed as well from Wayne. But he'll try to make up for it with a faster third. As from here, we're settling in. Shaky start. And the drone survived. the drone went on a trip, mate. Oh my god. Traveled around the world. Coming back home. Usually the drone dies, I'll be honest. Usually it sticks around, it gets some scat information, and then eventually falls. But no, yeah, makes it back home. Let's go. Pappy, where were you? What? Where'd you go? Don't worry about it. Like, we thought we'd never see you again. Said you were never coming home. It's like, oh, it's fine. Let me just mind. I'll just go back to work. It's fine. A little bit embarrassed. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. Accepted by the hive mind. As from here, it is going to be a Stargate opener. Stargate into Oracle. Christiana moving out. Alas, Wayne is fully aware. And back at home, what do we have? We have one Queen. I mean, again, as a reminder, Queen production was delayed because of the later spawning pool. So the Queen count is still building up. Getting up towards 4 Queens. Spores now on the way. 1 spore in the main. Christiana just playing it safe, keeping his Oracle back at home. I mean, I should also emphasize, welcome one and all to King's Cove. This is one of the larger maps in the map pool. Long rushes to spike ground, very defendable on 3 bases. The reason for this is you have a narrow ramp coming into the natural, and you have a ramp coming into the third as well. So very defendable locations here, where it takes more to push up a ramp than to defend it, of course. So Christiana, or at least the defending player, has that going for them. The 4th base is more exposed. It's on the low ground. It's wide open, especially the center 4th base as well. So this can be more difficult to defend, but your 3 base setup is secure. Across the map, early Evo chamber into +1 melee. So Wayne once again rushing into melee. Previously in the series, we saw this led into Ling Roach, but Roaches were forced out because of the Archon follow-up out of Christiana. We'll see if he does that again. As Oracles to get 2 drones so far. Going for the queen. He's crazy. The queen is exposed. The queen goes down. He had just 1 queen to defend. Nice pick up here by Cristiano. He saves the Oracle. Pulls away. Gets 3 drones. And shouldn't get much more than that. He gets eyes on the 4th. Not quite. Getting up. Almost 1 more worker. Pulls back. Cristiano does back off. Even recalling back home. Behind this, the tech is now done, and I was curious. I was about to say for the first time in the series that we're going to see +1 and Blink. The answer is no. It's going to be +1 and Charge alongside Archons. Once again, a Charge or Archon composition. Again, this is Cristiano's go-to. Archon-based compositions here in PvZ. He loves it, man. He loves it. As 5 adepts, they get across the map. Lings are somewhat in position. Again, they do get a pseudo surround. 1 adept goes down. There's 4 left. And Cristiano, he will shade in towards the natural. Another adept goes down, but he will focus down as many drones as he can. He gets 1, he gets 2, he gets 5 in total. Oh, can he get 6? Can he get 6? Can he get... Oh, not quite. 5 workers go down. That's 5 drones for 5 adepts. So not the best trade here from Cristiano. I would say acceptable losses for Wayne. Did lose a lot of links in the process though. True. That did also happen. As Wayne has gained map control, going for a counterattack. The Oracles are back at home to defend. The Archon as well. Cristiano, he holds. Does hold. We have a massive gateway explosion. Again, just embracing pure Charge or Archon. We have the Robo on the way. And I'm assuming this is similar to game 1, where the Robo is just for immortal production. Meanwhile, I believe Wayne is skipping roaches. I believe he's skipping. Yeah, no Roach Warren here. Wayne is going straight up Ling Hydra, which can be quite vulnerable to this. Cristiano, he breaks out. Does break out. Will expand. Is getting his 4th, and here comes War Prism. Here comes the move out. Just mass Archon charge though, which is ideal against a light-based army, and that's what it's going to be here to defend. Bearing in mind, Wayne, he has no Roach Warren, he has no Baneliness either, so it should just be purely Ling Queen Hydra. Now, with a high enough Hydra counts, I do see Wayne defending, but it's still not going to be too easy here. I am concerned. As here comes the move out. Again, it's a death blow of an army. They have how many? 5 Archons, Lings, they do dip in, but the Oracles, they're back at him to defend. Cristiano is pushing. If there were Banelings, then I could see a defense here out of Wayne, but remember, no Banelings. Overlord goes down. And here comes Cristiano. Wayne is trying to set up. He does have the Concave. Collapse on the army. Lings, they melt. Hydras are exposed. And this is what I was worried about. Force they lock down the Hydras. We need more Zealots, though. More, they're coming in. Yeah, Zealots, they break on through, and this army just melts. Ling Hydra cannot contest this. Not at all, as it just crumbles here before Charge Archon. As Cristiano is snowballing out of control. Breaks to the main army. GG gets called, and Cristiano, he will take the series 3-0. GG. Cristiano, calm down. GG, well played, Wayne. He just last night took down Classic 3-1, but a very different outcome here against Cristiano. Again, Classic, he's more of a standard player, getting into Blink Stalkers, getting into +1. This kind of style out of Classic allows a player to get into Ling Hydra, into Lurker, into longer game states, or be more aggressive. Here with Charge Archon, without Roaches, it's a tough hold. It's a tough defense here for the Zerg player without Roaches or without Banelings, without a more slower composition. We saw that Wayne, he was trying to kind of rush into further tech. Ideally with Ling Hydra, this leads into 4-base saturation, into Hive Tech, into Lurkers, into Vipers, into a standard game. But alas, Cristiano, he's anything but standard. He's very fond of his Archons, and with that he snowballs out of control. GG. GG, well played. Cristiano does take the series, and with that, that leads us into our final series of the night. And again, I'm a little bit in shock. I was favoring Wayne coming into this, but Cristiano, he has been on fire as of late. He's of course the sparkling tuna, so you know he does well on the channel, as always. And up next, we have the final series. It's going to be a best of 5 between Clem and Shameless. in a TVP. Here we go. Of course, coming into this, Clem is the heavy favorites. We got a lot of love for Shameless. We have a lot of love for Shameless on this channel. Shameless, he is an up-and-comer. He has been improving so much over 2024. His rate of improvement has been very impressive, considering how young of a player he is. But what is with the seeding? Because, mate, he's going up against the best player in the world. Like, what? I give him anyone else. And I want to believe in Shameless, but he's up against Clem here, and oh boy, I mean, Clem, he's one of a kind. Definitely, he's of course the reigning world champion, the best player in the world, at least the best Terran, of course, and Clem has been on fire. We've been seeing less Clem as of late, as he did struggle in Masters Coliseum, and he did struggle in Little League Cup as well, with some surprising results, of course, which no one really expected. But yeah, we've been seeing a little bit less of Clem, and we'll see. We'll see. I mean, now he can focus on the OSC Season 12 Championship. True. He now focus on the championship as we're getting into Game 1. Here we go. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the French Terran player, the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the up-and-comer himself, the red Protoss for Team Little Fairy. It is Shameless. Here we go. Again, for those who haven't been tuning into Little League Cup or tuning into Masters Coliseum, there was a crazy upset or a crazy kind of result that did transpire in those events that did negatively impact Clem. I'm referring mainly to Masters Coliseum, where Clem did not make it through the group stage. He was favored 100%. Clem, he was heavily favored to make it out of the groups to compete in the playoffs. He did not make it through. The reason for this is because of a unique rule in Masters Coliseum, where they care less about wins in the group stage and more about overall map score and head-to-head. They have a different prioritization. Because of that, despite having a winning record, Clem did not make it out of the groups. Instead, Spirit went out over Clem. So Spirit made it through, Clem did not, and with that, Clem, he got knocked out of Masters Coliseum entirely, but at least we will be featuring Clem in Little League Cup. He is one of the few Terrans in the Little League Cup playoffs, so we will be featuring him there, and of course, here in the OSC Championship as well. Just really unfortunate that he wasn't a part of Masters Coliseum, because like the best players in the world are competing in Masters Coliseum. Would have been great to have seen Clem as a part of those playoffs, but alas, didn't quite occur in the end. Not quite. From here, we're settling in. Economic opener is going to be a racked expand out of Clem. Going to be calming things down. And Shameless back at home going for his own setup as well. Oh boy, the pressure is on. I mean, I say the pressure is on. At the same time, like Shameless, again, because he's so young and so new to the scene, like you could argue that, you know, there's less of a weight on his shoulder to perform against Clem. He can be more free, do his best, as there might not be as many expectations. And he's already done so well for himself to make it here this far into the event, as Clem is going to be zoned away. Soon getting to our tech of choice. Back at home, safety bunker here by Clem on the high ground, and it is going to be a Twilight Council opener. Twilight Council into Blink. Standard play. Standard so far. Clem joined Rainer in the Washed Club. Reddit told me, he's clean. He's washed. Kappa. Wait, Reddit, they don't even watch StarCraft. They don't even watch it. Who listens to Reddit? Aye. As Reaper does dip in. Oh. Threads of inner line. Last going to be zoned away. How many gateways going to be thrown down? So far, we have 2 gates in total here for Shameless. 2 gate Blink. And back at home with Clem settling into his own 1-1-1. Into Widowmine drop. Let's go. Now we seem to be active with these Hellions to have a presence on the map. We can see Shameless walling up and walling up. Should be safe against the Hellions, as they are spotted. Shameless, he races back home. He did spot the Hellions. He should be walling off. Yeah, the probe is in position. Hellions, they threaten a dive. One of them goes down. Oh, Hellions, they do squeeze past. They try to. The whole position. Let's go. But probes are still going down. He gets two. Gets two. He gets 3 workers. 3 workers for 2 Hellions and a Reaper. Not a bad trade for Clem. And behind this, getting ready for his mine drop. How many? 4. 4 Widow Mines moving out across the map. A lot of potential here for Clem. Likewise, he has to get a read on how many gateways there are. Speaking of, 2 more gates on the way. 4 gate blink. Much more aggressive build for Shameless. Much more aggressive. Clem has yet to confirm. Back at home, he is at least setting up. Nice Sim City. Tank is on the way. Bunker on the low ground. Shameless is somewhat in position. Gets a lot of damage here on the medevac. Widow Mines, they drop in. Oh no! Oh my god, massive connection. 4 probes going down. 4 probes and a Stalker. Another Stalker falling. Blink is not ready. And Clem, he escapes. He escapes with 2 Widow Mines as well. Massive pickoffs. Ay, ay, ay. Again, just a late reaction by Shameless. Pulled away too late. Widow Mines is still active. They can still drop in towards the natural. Shameless trying to keep up. Blink is at least done. And he's going for a counterattack. Remember, 4-gate Blink. He needs to be aggressive. Needs to be assertive across the map instead. Doesn't want to be stuck defending. Does move out. Here comes the warp in. Warping in whatever he can. Clem getting 2 more Widow Mines. And escapes with 1 of the Widow Mines as well. Does escape. Good value. 6 probes in total. As Shameless, he will threaten to die, but there are 2 tanks waiting for him. Don't blink in! Don't do it! Oh my god. Thankfully, he doesn't face check. As that would have not ended well here for Shameless. Third CC on the way. Shameless still trying to be active. The Widow Mine rotates over towards the main. Diving on the Raven. Raven goes down. But the bunker does punish. Auto turret as well. Shameless, he does blink well. Pulls away. Some Stalkers are falling. Likewise, mine drop in the main. 4 probe kills. The Widow Mine survives once again. He lives. How? That's what, 10 probe kills? 10 probes for 3 Widow Mines so far. As there's still potentially another shot available. Shameless still trying to reinforce. Clem's stim is almost done. 3rd CC's on the way. Shameless splitting up his army. Does split up. Oh my god. Once again, unable to pull away in time. But this time, it looks like Clem, he will not save the Widow Mine. Still 13 kills. No shot, he saves it. Clem, he saves the Widow Mine. Likewise, Clem catching out the Stalkers. He gets 1, he gets 2, he gets 3, he gets 4. Oh, 4 Stalkers do go down. Brutal losses here for Shameless. That should not have happened. Shameless otherwise distracted. And Clem again just pulling Shameless apart. Shameless trying to get a 3rd base. Clem, he's about to break out. The upgrades are done. Here comes Clem. Forcing back Shameless. And Clem, he can just commit. Catching out a Stalker. He gets 1, he gets 2, he gets 3. Oh, God, he gets 3 Stalkers. Shameless moving out for a counterattack, but here comes Clem, rallying everything across the map. Momentum is on his side. There are some force fields available. Force fields, they can slow down the push. They do slice up the army. Hopping up here out of Clem. Does avoid the friendly fire. Shots going up on the Zealots. And at this point, Clem can just sim and win. Doesn't even need the tanks. Doesn't even need them. Yeah, it does start to step forward. Takes down the sentries. That's a warp of Zealots, but GG gets called. There's just not enough left at home, and Clem will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played again, Clem. He is the heavy favorite for a reason. He is the reigning world champion for good reason as well. And SKillous will take a loss here in the first game, but we'll see if he can bounce back. Again, it was insane just how much damage the mine drop got. 13 probes, 13 workers for 4 widow mines. Actually, I should say for 3, because that 4th widow mine was saved towards the end as well. It was still alive. It was crazy. With that, GG. GG, well played. We now load into a small map as well. We're going to be loading into ley lines. A map where you can be more aggressive, you can be more assertive. We'll see who's able to take advantage of that. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines, we have the French Terran player, the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player. For Team Little Fairy, it is SKillous. Here we go. As again, last game, SKillous, he attempted to go 4-gate blink, but because of all the harassment, because of all the mine drops, and just the aggression of Clem, the 4-gate blink just never really came into play. It just really put SKillous more behind than anything, because it delayed his expansion, it delayed his tech, delayed his upgrades in favor of trying to be aggressive with those stalkers, but alas, did fail to do so, did fall behind. So I'm hoping for a bit of a safer opener here out of SKillous this time. Referring to 3-gate blink. Meanwhile, hello SCV. As Clem, he rallies across the map, he avoids the scouting probe, and is making his way towards the natural for an eBay block. The eBay is on the way. SKillous does poke in. eBay has been placed, and SKillous is going to be delayed. And, oh, he's going to be forced to take the unnatural natural. Okay, so this can be abusable. This can be abused here. Clem, he will confirms location of the Nexus, and with this, Clem can go into a more heavier factory-based composition to rally across the map to try to punish this location, as it can be quite awkward to defend. We'll see. We'll see how aggressive Clem plans on being. Behind this factory is on the way. Reactor as well. He can go for an add-on swap and go Reactor to Hellion. Go Reactor to Hellion here. And that would just be a really good way to either threaten the natural or dive straight into the main and wreak havoc in the mineral lines. And we'll see if he does go for the swap. Behind this, Clem should be expanding. And soon getting his natural. There it is, CC on the high ground. Clem playing it safe. Yep, there's the add-on swap. He's going for the Hellions. He's going for a Reactored Hellion. Now, in the previous patch, we used to be able to go into Reactored Hellion or even Reactored Cyclone, then into Hellion. That was back when you did not require tech labs on the factory. Nowadays, you do require tech labs, so Cyclones are not available here. But regardless, Hellions, they can pop up as they're building up. As a reminder, it takes 3 Hellions to one-shot a probe. Speaking of, 3rd Hellion's on the way, and the 4th. The Adept moves out, runs into the army. Now, SKillous, he's aware of the commitment into Hellions. He knows, but knowing is merely half the battle. He has to set up. Okay, we have a shield battery here at the 3rd. Likewise, we could try to wall off the ramp. It's going to be a Stargate Phoenix opener out of SKillous. Now, with Phoenixes, he can lift up the Hellions. He can lift them up and try to avoid that one-shot potential, but here they come. Hellions are moving out. There is a scouting probe. It does get eyes on the Hellions. Adepts are ready. Up. One probe goes down. SKillous in position, or at least trying to be. Hellions, they go for the Adept. One of it falls. The Hellions are getting low. And there's 3 Hellions left. One gets lifted, only 2 Hellions remaining. And they can two-shot probes. They can two-shot the workers. Second Phoenix arrives, and SKillous holds. SKillous, he does hold. He shuts us down. And this doesn't get too much. It was 4 Hellions for 1 Adept and 2 workers. Nice cleanup by SKillous. He holds, he defends. Meanwhile, Clem got a full scout. He's fully aware of the Stargate Phoenix opener here out of SKillous. Also, get juiced up. The juice box. Beautiful. Clem is getting ready back at home, going to Cyclone Viking production. Gets a lock on. Ooh, and he will not get the Phoenix, thankfully. Phoenix does survive. Phoenix is deflected. Clem trying to keep up with the movement of Shameless. As the lock-ons are brutal, and the Phoenix is gonna go down. Brutal pickup, Phoenix for nothing. Phoenix falls behind this, throwing down extra Raxes. Building up towards a bio-tank composition. Stim should soon be on the way. And we'll see what we get into. As Shameless, it looks like he was wanting to get into Phoenix Colossus. There's the Robo, there's the Safety Immortal. Into, I would imagine, a Bay. Into Colossi. Shameless throws down the third. Getting his third base. Yep, there's the Bay. Bay is on the way. So something a little bit more traditional here, Phoenix Colossus. This is very much so out of favor and out of meta. But it's nice to see it, and once again, it's nice to see it. Nowadays, it's considered unsafe just because Terran players have gotten so good at punishing this. And punishing Stargate play in general. Speaking of, Clem does move out. And the move out is spotted, thankfully. Shameless, he's aware of the move out. He's getting ready back at home. Massing up his Phoenixes. Building up the Immortals. Now, this is going to hit before the Colossus is ready. As the Bay is still in the way. Server goes down. Phoenix is looking to hunt down any stray unit. They head towards the 3rd CC. Towards the reinforcements. They get a Marine. Oh. Just the one. Phoenix goes down. Down to 4. And here comes the move out. There are no sentries, no force fields. They're moving in. Back at home, Phoenix, they do catch a reinforcing tank. Vikings, they do race back home. Phoenix, they just move out. But they do get intercepted. Oh, they do get caught. Alas, without the Vikings, the tank goes down. Shameless, he holds. Does hold on, does defend. Forces back Clem. And Colossus production should soon begin. I mean, with the high Viking count, I guess it might not be worth it. That's a lot of Vikings. There's a lot of Vikings here for Clem. Shameless pulling away. Double Forge. Twilight Council into charge. But this tells me that the investment here into the Rodix Bay wasn't really worth it. It was not worth it in the end. As Shameless is just hard switching into Charge Archon instead. But again, this is late tech for Shameless. Tech is delayed. 4th base now on the way. Clem should be getting his 3rd. As his CC is still in production. And now we can get into the mid game. We've made it. We can calm things down. Shameless, he has a good economy. The composition is lacking. Again, as we mentioned, because of the commitment into the Bay, it really does slow everything else down. So Shameless's army is not really what it needs to be. Not yet. It needs more time. So Clem is being active once again. Getting his 3rd. Panning out his Marines. High Templar morphing in. Where are those storms? No storm yet. Shameless, he is at least refining his army. He's getting there. As he did take extra gases, so we can afford some tech. But now just focusing on the ground death blow of an army. Archons, Immortals, Charge Lots, still no storm. Here comes Clem. Clem does move out. And there is no slash damage. Oh. There's no slash damage. There is no EP either, no ghost. Bear that in mind. So far, Clem kiting back, takes out all the zealots. There are plenty of immortals, and the tank should fall. Shameless holds. Shameless, he is holding. He is holding the line. Clem, he has to retreat upon seeing this army. We need some ghost production. There we go. First ghost is on the way. Oof. As the Prism is caught out. The Phoenixes are still at least alive. They can still be active. Clem pulls away. And again, a lot of the supply for Clem are in these Vikings. So he has very limited supply here to actually make use of. Meanwhile, Shameless counterattacking. This time less certain of. I mean, sure, there are no tanks. True. There's no tanks on the high ground. There is potential here for Shameless. As Clem moves away, the Observer, of course, sees everything. How the Observer gets spotted. And Shameless, he wants to dive in. He can at least deny the fourth. But Clem is out of position. And fourth base is going to be denied. Pushing in towards the mineral line. Bunker goes down. Again, Clem is late to respond. Does get here in time though. Does throw away the army. Catching an Immortal. The Immortal goes down. Drop into the main. Zealot's warp in. And SCVs are going down. Catching reinforcements as well. Good drop here by Shameless. The Zealots do well, but he has to back up with the main army. He cannot fight this. Gonna try to though. There's something goes. EMPs pop off. Oh, and this army, not like this. Archons go down. Immortals go down as well. Shameless, he cannot fight this head on. He's gonna lose everything. Will lose the entirety of the main army, but in the main base, SCVs are going down. If only Shameless had backed off, that was not the fight to take. Kills 15 SCVs, but it might not matter. Because Shameless, what does he have left? He has Zealots. He has 2 Archons on the way. A Colossus in production. Does not have range. And here comes Clem. As Clem, he's up 50 supply. Shameless is not ready for this. Now, thankfully, Clem, half his army is back at home, so he has to wait. Is now reinforcing. As Clem, he rotates. He is down in the economy, but he's recovering, rebuilding his SCVs. He has mules, of course. Is now pushing in. Yes, there's a Colossus, but again, no range. So they have to back up. And upon scanning Vikings, they lift once again. Plenty of Vikings left over. And Clem, he can break through this. He has 3 EMPs. With the EMPs, they connect. First Colossus goes down. 1 Colossus left. And it's going to fall as well. I say that. Clem forced the kite. Viking count gets reset. Shameless, he's holding. He's holding on. Shameless does hold, does survive. Clem backing up. Again, just getting a 4th CC. Getting more production, taking more bases. 2 tools on the horizon. And again, Shameless, he's at least holding. Did reset the Viking count. Getting to a 2nd Robo into double Colossus production. Still no range. And again, Shameless, he needs more time. It's time to recover. And Clem, he's not giving him that time. Sims in. Forces a recall. Despite that, gets 5 probe kills. Does boost away. Does boost out of there. Up. Lose the medevac. Medevac goes down. Clem getting his 4th. Now Clem is going to be the first to max out. He is yet to start taking towards a fusion core or a 2nd starport. Still just fixated on by a Viking, which can still work well. Likewise, still no range for Shameless. He hasn't quite noticed that he's missing it. Still no escape from the lands. Now Shameless, he is getting to 3-3, and that is going to benefit his ground army especially. Does move forward. Won't help against the EMPs though. EMPs, they pop up. Stalkers have to retreat. The Prism! Prism is exposed. Does survive. Pulls away. Shameless moving in. Clem is maxing out. More Zells warping in as well. Again, they can do a great job buffering for the main army. EMPs are brutal though. The Archons are being sniped. He kites back to the planetary. And Shameless, he cannot engage. Not like this. Colossus goes down. And they're gonna get one shot. Oh my god. Another Colossus falls down to one. No more Prism, no more reinforcements. And Shameless, he cannot take the fight. He has to back off. Ideally, with this heavy of a Zealot army, you want to fight out in the open, out on the map. Not defensively here, not into a planetary. Just not going to work out well. Shameless has to retreat. And Clem now is investing into a second starport. Second starport on the way. Both armies are maxed out. Thankfully, Shameless now going to be reinforcing with disruptors. That's a lot of zealots. Jesus. How many zealots do we have? 29. 29 zealots all the way. Going for a big counterattack. There is a spotted marine. Clem will spot at least some zealots. Does spot them. Now, disruptors are a good way to recover and bounce back despite having a subpar army composition. Disruptors are going to be a good addition. Dark Shrine is on the way, third robo as well. Shameless just bringing up supply. Making more disruptors. First Nova does zone. There's one Nova left at the same time. Zealots, they do move in towards a third. That's EMP. Colossus goes down. Novas, they don't quite connect. And Clem, he can commit. They can push in at the same time. Zealots, they do hit the expansion. But Clem, he's ready for this. Clem, he's in position back at home. The army forced back. The base is going to fall. The mineral line as well. And the Zealots, they don't do much. They don't do much across the map. As they don't get a single SCV. The Nova! Oh my god, massive connection. Novas, they pop up. Oh my god. They do pop up. Massive connections. Despite that, back at home, Clem defends, breaks down a base, keeps moving in. But Shameless, he should hold. He should hold on here. Even catching a full medic, he gets one, he gets two. Two full medics go down. Nice defense here by Shameless. He holds. Behind this, taking more bases. We have Blink on the way for the DTs. And more disruptors. Again, he's got the Novas. He's got the balls. He has the disruptors. He has potential here. Going for a counterattack. Or running into a planetary. Can't quite break through. As he has limited Novas. That disruptor's being focused down. Nice target firing here to Clem. He gets one. Does bring down one disruptor. Zealots, they charge in. They collapse on the main army. And where are the Novas? Where are the disruptors? Now coming in. Zealots are going down. Nova goes off. Alas, the army pulls back. Clem holds. Clem, he does hold. At the same time, DT's in the middle lines. 12 SCV kills. Not bad. Getting a couple of workers. Crippling the economy. DT's here towards the third base as well. Damage is being done. And Clem is up against the wall. Going for drop play. Back at home, there isn't really much to protect these bases. No shield batteries, no cannons, no side defense. There is a recall. That might be what Shameless has to rely upon. Shameless taking another base. This will slow Clem down. Shameless, he has time to respond. Expansion is denied. Shameless trying to keep up. Shameless, he rotates everything here towards the south, actually. Uh-oh. At least he didn't waste his recall. Still has recall if he needs it. The army gets spotted. Clem, he responds. At the same time, massive DT counterattack towards the planetary. Shameless moving in. Oh, massive connection. Gets a ghost. Gets a ghost, gets a good amount of marines. At the same time, here comes the counterattack. Is there a turret? There kind of is. Yeah, turret is in position. Drop across the map. Army moves in. As they zone away. Bit of friendly fire. Planetary goes down. Massive pickup. Up. Another connection. Shameless. Shameless he cadets. 11 SCVs go down. Good fight here from the Protoss. Very good fight. But last, Clem just floats over his CC. Maintains his bases, maintains his economy. But Shameless going to be the first to max out. Shameless, he's got this. He's got this, man. Gonna rotate. 2 Novas go off. He still has, what, 5 Novas left. Down to 3. Down to 2. He has to be careful. He has to preserve those Novas. Army sims in, gets 1 Disruptor. Shameless with the flank, collapses on the army. And Clem is getting caught out. Shameless looking to break through. Getting some of the Marauders. Big losses here for Clem. Shameless taking it slow. He maintains these bases. He defended against the drop earlier. Rotates over towards the 3rd base. Shameless once again maxed out. Clem going for a counterattack. Shameless, he's somewhat in position. He'll take a rough fight though. Doesn't recall. Vikings, they take down the Colossus. Colossus goes down. Do have DTs to defend. Shameless does have a massive army, but he has to make use of these disruptors. There we go, he's moving in. Shows Novas. Oh, he gets 1. Gets 1, gets 2, gets 3 disruptors. Novas don't quite connect. 2 disruptors left. Nice kiting here by Clem. Nice target firing as well. Nova only zones away. There's 1 Nova left. Ooh, and the Shameless is not rebuilding those disruptors. These Novas, they don't connect. They're moving in. Catches a sentry, catches a couple of stalkers. Zoning back the army. Another disruptor goes down. What once was 6 disruptors down to 1. 1 disruptor left. Clem is clawing his way back into this. Get Vikings, they shut down the Colossus, never goes off. Gets into the mineral line. Nice save there with some of those SCVs. Only 4 SCVs go down, but he gets a base. He gets a planetary. Oh, the Stalkers are exposed. We need more Zealots, need more Archons. There's not really much of a buffer. The Disruptor goes down. Massive pickup. 0 Disruptors left. There's 2 on the way. There's 2 more on the way. Clem clawing his way back in. Heavily overstimmed. Gonna be forced back. Once again, good EMP here on the Stalkers. Shameless, he has to respect it. Disruptors have arrived. Shameless, that massive lead he once had, not there anymore. He is still ahead economically, that is true. But Clem, he has been trading more efficiently. These have been more efficient trades. Drop on the right hand side. Go for the mineral line. Shameless, he responds. He's ready. Oh! Links in. Gets a better back. Gets 1, doesn't quite get the other. Dark Templar dealt with. Clem is still somewhat mining. Has the center base. Okay, 3 probes across the map. Nova does not catch out Clem. Then he pulls away. There's 1 Nova left. Only 3 disruptors of the main army. Shameless going back to Colossus. Does he have... He still doesn't have range. No shot. This entire game. No extended thermal lance. Ay, ay, ay. He never got it. Still never got it. Clem is being forced back. Shameless, he is maxing out. He's getting there. I'm still a little bit concerned with the low disruptor count. It's very heavy Zealot based. It's a lot of chargelets. Shameless does max. Clem not too far behind him. He's on a 2 base economy. That's all he needs. Observer gets spotted. Zealots, they get called out. Another disruptor goes down. Yeah, we're positioning here for Shameless. Here's rough positioning. It doesn't connect. This is also one of those moments where I'm pretty sure Shameless, he wants to try to abuse this cliff face with the Colossus, but he should have noticed that he didn't quite have the range he should. It is one of those moments. As he does blink in, gets a Viking. So we are coming here to a run by. Clem attempting to expand. The Zealots, they're here just in time to deny it. But there's an army to defend as well. And Clem, he holds. Does spread to the mineral line. Army dives in. Clem coming in for a flank. Never goes up. We get an okay connection. 2 disruptors go down. Massive catch. There's 3 disruptors left. And Clem, he will take this fight. He collapses on the main army. Novas, they will not quite connect. We graze the main army. Vikings, they land. Disruptors going down. There's nothing left. There's no way out of this. Shameless, he gets cornered. And he's going to lose everything. The Stalkers, the Disruptors, the Colossus, it all goes down. And that's a massive win for Clem. Shameless, he was playing so well. He was playing so well in this game. Counterattacking, harassing, Zealot run-bys, DTs. But alas, he lost everything. Shameless down to Zealots. Purely Zealot. More Colossus on the way. Ay, ay, ay. There was a moment in this game where Shameless was on like, what, 50 supply? It was crazy. But at the same time, he wasn't quite able to make use of the army. That was back when Shameless, he was posturing on the high ground with like, what, 5, 6 disruptors. Disruptor count never quite got that high again. Army moves out, there's the recall, base goes down. Again, purely Zealot. That's all we have left. Just non-stop charge, lots. I mean, hey, they pick up the ghosts. Some of the ghosts are going down. Base gets denied. 14 SCVs do 4. Shameless, can he pull this off with pure Zealot? Let's go, gets us around. Or at least he tries to. The SimCity working against him. It's a brutal choke point. Oh my god. The Zealots, they melt. Okay, they just kind of push into that. Not into the mineral line. Colossus does arrive. Does reinforce. Supplies are still very close here. Alas, a lot of the supply for Shameless are probes. Clem, he has the larger army. Much larger army here. As he did snipe the expansion. Clem is on 22 SCVs. It's not a 1 base economy. But that's all he has mules. He's fine. The power of mules. Oh no. Will Shameless ever research extend them a lance? I don't I don't think he will. Not anymore. It's too late for that. It's too late. As Clem, he has to split up his army. He does trade well, but there's a scan. Nice on borrow there from Clem. No friendly fire. No friendly fire. Back up to 3, soon to be 4 Colossus. And unironically, based on like how often Shameless has gone back into Colossus production, the lack of the range upgrade here is, I mean, it has played its part here in this game, unironically. Especially with how long the game has been, getting up to the 30-minute mark. Now, the Viking count is very low. True, very low Viking counts. Shameless, he has potential. He can still take a fight. Let's get eyes on the bases. Takes down another SCV. He's going to dive in. Very heavy Marauder count. Clem trying to come in for a flank. Not being forced back. And Clem just gives up the base. He pulls away. Knows he cannot save it. TT comes in from behind. Shameless going for the CC. Doesn't really have much anti-air. CC does survive. Shameless rotating, going for the planetary. Planetary should go down. Nice pickup. Takes down the base. Shameless, he's maxed out. He's got how many? He's got 42 Zealots and 4 Colossus. Is his main army, but Clem, he has a fully mining base here. It's a freshly saturated base as well. Clem, he has an economy. Meanwhile, Shameless, he should be able to take down this northern base. I mean, there is mining going on, but there's no saving it. Good mine connections. But the orbital's gonna be going down. Clem coming in from behind, but he won't quite engage. Oh, gets a volley up on the Colossus. The Viking count is building up. Meanwhile, 16 SCVs go down. Clem back down to 22. 22 workers, let's go. Oh, massive EMP, no recall. And no recall available, the base is gonna fall. Base is gonna go down. Clem, he's catching up in supply. He's almost there. Celtic coming from behind once again, catching reinforcements, forcing Clem back. Main army moves in. The Colossus, no! It was one. One Colossus goes down. Massive pickup. Every unit counts. First Colossus full, second Colossus as well. That's a lot of Vikings. And second Colossus goes down. Not as much anti-air. Stalkers doing what they can. Clem gets a third Colossus. Down to 1. Down to 0. No splash damage. Colossus count gets reset. We have Storm on the way. I mean, I wouldn't have been opposed to still going back into Disruptors, but okay. Going to Storm. As Clem rotates, massive Storm does connect. Good first Storm, second Storm as well, zones away. How many High Templar? Just the one. Just the one High Templar. Shameless diving in, nice kiting here, brutally EMPs. EMPs, they cover with the Zealots. The Zealots are gonna melt. Yeah, they have no sustain. Zealots go down, no more splash damage. And Clem, he will take this fight. He's stimming in, there's no Disruptors, no Colossus, no High Templar, no Storm. 2 High Templar morphing in the high ground. Base goes down. Clem, he could try to keep pushing, but now he rotates. Does rotate over. Shameless going for a DT counterattack. Remember, there's no planetary. SCVs are going down. Somewhat trading a base for a base. Clem down to 17 SCVs. Let's go. 15 SCVs. Less than a 1 base economy. Storms popping up. Oh my god, he stands in the storms. Does stand in the storms. Oof. Once again, zoning away. Shameless, he gets across the map, dives on the army. DT's a trade somewhat well. As there's 1 Marine left, 1 Ghost. Clem defends. Down to 7 SCVs. Down to 7 workers. Let's go. I mean, he still has mules. He has as many mules as there are SCVs. There's a storm. There is a storm on the high ground. Clem, he rotates. That's a lot of High Templar, but not many storms. First one does zone. Base is going to be denied. Going for the feedback. Oh, Shameless getting caught out. Clem, he gets 1. He gets 2 High Templar. The storms are ready. He gets 1. But the rest of the storms are just not ready in time. High Templar to get picked up, and Clemmy breaks through. GG gets called. There's nothing left, and Clemmy fights back. Clem takes a 2-0 lead. GG. He's crazy. GG, well played. A very scrappy game, and SKillous, he played so well here as well. There were so many good moments for him, good opportunities as well. It did feel like SKillous was getting very nervous, which makes sense. Again, he's a very young player, very young. He's 18 years old. He's also like a newer coming to the scene, newer coming to the pro scene especially. And he played it well, did play it well. There were definitely, of course, some moments like missing some of the extended lands, abandoning Disruptor production, for example, even though Disruptor was doing very well for him for a time. There was, of course, a big moment with SKillous where he was up, I want to say 50 supply, but it was in that moment where he was very heavily Disruptor based and he was just harassing mineral lines. He wasn't really going for any major fights. Clem, he was able to buy time, able to just pull his way back into it. Very close, very impressive by Clem, I should say, for Clem to just hang in there. And despite so much going against him, he clawed his way back in. Very impressive. The tenacity here of Clem was on full display, showing that, mate, he might be down to 7 workers, but he's gonna fight his heart out, and he did. Very well played. GG, well played. Clem, he brings it back, and he will take a 2-0 lead. But GG, well played. Shout to SKillous again. Like, I feel like part of his inexperience was showing there a little bit as well, for sure, from SKillous, and you know, that's something that he's able to deal with over time, of course, with as he competes more, as he plays more, as he goes up against these bigger names. Regardless, GG, well played. Crazy game. Crazy. As a shout to Blakerdudes. Oh my god, thank you so much for the 500 bits. God, papi, gracias so much. Thank you so much for the 500 bits. Do appreciate it. I see the chat. Hapsaya, when it comes to, there is a clean feed, I would ask SC Boy for the link to the clean feed, but they'll most likely be very well receptive to it. They don't really have, like, if you ask them, they'll be like, yeah, sure, go for it. Like, they're not really too restrictive when it comes to limiting who can and who cannot cast their tournaments. So yeah, just reach out. I'm sure they'll be more than happy to. Who do I contact? What Discords are you in? So the admins for SC Boy are Bokun. Do you know Bokun? There's Bokun. There is Sayo, and there's another main one as well. There's Sayo, there's Bokun, and there is another one that's slipping my mind. Sarutobi. Also, meanwhile, shout out to Cyan. God, thank you so much for the raid. Thank you so much. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Welcome, one and all, to the OSC Season 12 Championship. We are in our final series of the night. The final series here. We're in Game 3 of Clem versus SKillous, but that was a crazy Game 2. It was very intense, very back and forth. Could have gone either way. And we're here to find out if SKillous can bounce back in this series. Yeah, what you know? Just imagine that game with Colossus range. Unironically, that could have been the game changer. Like so many fights involved Colossus, and imagine just extra swipes, just extra attacks from those Colossus over time, and even more survivability as well, as they would have been less exposed, less vulnerable to Vikings, less vulnerable to Marauders as well. That would have actually been a big factor in that game, just because of the length of the game itself. It was 30 minutes, and a lot of that did involve, you know, Colossus fights. GG. But with that, we're getting into game number 3. Saber is not a part of the WTL team, but Saber might direct you in the correct direction. But Saber he's not a part of WTL. He's not a part of SC Boy. Those are the 3. Those are the 3. As we're getting into our next game, we're getting into game number 3 here at Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Gresfan. We have the French Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. Leading the series 2-0 and Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner. We have the Red Protoss player representing Team Little Fairy. It is SKillous. Also, Hapsaya, if you check I believe if you check the Wikipedia page for Master Colosseum, there should be a Discord link. Is there? No, not quite. Is the one for World Team League. Yeah. Here. If you go to the Wikipedia page of WTL, of World Team League, there is a link to their Discord server in the info box. So you can head there. You can head directly into their Discord, and you should be able to find everyone that you need to in that Discord server. Hoping that the link still works, might I add. But if it does, you're good to go. You're good to go. From here, we're settling into game number 3. Whew, and we can take a moment to calm things down. Welcome one and all to Gressman. Gressman is, of course, one of the older maps, long past its prime in a sense. Gressman, it was in the map pool back in 2022. I want to say like 2021, 2022 era of StarCraft was when it was in the ladder map pool. And the OSC Championships do provide an extended map pool. An extended map pool is provided here. So we have maps like Gressman, like Romanticide, and like Erahome as well. So players, they have the option to play on some of these older maps instead of the newer maps. Do have the option. Here we go. As someone's asking in the chat, how many disruptors would be ideal? Yeah, around like 5 to 6. Previously, a higher disruptor count was more viable to get up to like 9+ disruptors, but that was before the nerf to the disruptor supply-wise. Now it does take up more supply, so typically you work with less disruptors now. But it used to be obnoxious. I mean, actually, fun fact, back when this map was in rotation, that was back when we would see players like Trigger, players like MaxPax getting up to 9, up to 12 like we've casted games like Trigger versus Clem. No, Trigger versus Maru on this map, on Gressman. With Trigger, he had like 12 disruptors, and when you have that many disruptors, you have non-stop novas. By the time the first nova goes off, and by the time the first disruptor reset, by the time the last nova goes off, the first nova resets, and you just have non-stop novas. It's crazy. it's insane. But we're past that. We're past the non-stop novas. Not anymore. Not anymore. As for now, we're settling in. For now, going for a 3-gate blink opener. Very safe play here by Shameless. And back at home, Clem going for a CC on the high ground into his own tank drop. Oh my god, going for an aggressive build. He's moving out. Going to be sending everything across the map, and Clem, he does commit. Tank is on the way, waiting for the tank, then dropping across the map. Let's go. Let us go. As he's going to be committing. Cyclone gets spotted. Tank has arrived, and here come the reinforcements. Here comes the tank drop. The goal here to get on top of the production to break through the natural. Shameless, he's still waiting for his gateways to come online. Shameless, he's supply blocked. Now is not the time. Pylons are on the way. He has supply block. He can't warp in. And here comes the army. Here comes Clem. We can't afford a supply block. Not here. Not now. Tank has arrived. Pylon is exposed. Tank volley going off. Sentry goes down. There's the warp in. Pylon is going to go down. One more volley. Oh my god, one more shot. It depowers the gateways, but it looks like Shameless, he will defend. Whew, it's a costly defense, but he does take down the tank. More reinforcements on the way. Blink is not done. When another Stalker goes down. From here, Clem still rallying across the map. Trading with the Stalkers. Chasing him down. Oh, catching another. There's 2 Stalkers left. But Shameless, he holds. Oh, Shameless, he does hold on. Immortal production has begun. Now, bearing in mind, the Immortal is late because the robot got depowered. But Clem backs off. Clem, he doesn't commit. Okay. We made it. we made it, Pappy. We made it. Whew. As Clem, he pulls back. Does pull back. Shameless getting his 3rd base. Blink is now done. Immortal production well underway. And Shameless now has a semblance of map control. Does move out, but Clem, he's not stopping. He just reinforced. Just consulted his army and is still moving in. After what happened in that 30-minute game, Clem, he's angry. he's like, not again. I got places to be. I just want to end it. Shameless trying to catch reinforcements. Goes for a backstab. Clem pushing up the ramp. The Immortal is exposed. Does sync up with the Immortal. The Immortal is going to go down. Ay, ay, ay. Massive pickup. Base is going to be denied. Do you have a recall back home? Stalkers, they race back. And we're here once again. Deja vu. This time there is blink available. But Clem is pushing towards the gateways, getting within range. Gateways are going down. And with 2 tanks, Shameless, he can't dive in. Not this time. He's tempted. Oof. Takes a volley to the face. Second gateway goes down. Shameless down to how many? Down to 1 gateway. He can warp in 1 unit at a time. Backup gateways are on the way. Pylon does fall. And Clem is not stopping. He's just not stopping. He just keeps rallying across the map. He just wants to end it. Gets within range of the Robo. Immortal's on the way. Can it finish in time? Can it finish? Oh, it's going to be close. I will. The Immortal does pop out. Stalkers, they do dive in. Oh, but the tank shots are brutal, and Shameless's army crumbles. Stalkers, they go down one after the other. Massive tank shots. There's only the Immortal left. Gateways, they are finishing up. He's got, what, 3 gates? Robo goes down. And Shameless is up against the wall. He did so well for himself in game number 2, but here, Clem, he just commits. Just rallies everything, and GG gets called. Clem, he will take the series 3-0, advancing on to the next round. GG. Whew. GG, well played. This time we don't get the mid game. We don't even, I mean, we barely even get 2-base saturation out of Shameless. Clem, much more aggressive, much more assertive. He did want to deny any kind of semblance of a late game scenario. Not again. Not after game 2. And with that, Clem, he will take the series. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Clem as he does advance on. But a shout out to Shameless, because you know what? I'm sure people are going to be looking at the bracket. I'm sure people are going to be looking at the brackets. They're going to be looking at the setup here, and they're going to be thinking to themselves like, oh yeah, you know, Clem, he 3-0'd Shameless. You know, that's what should happen, right? He just 3-0'd him, did advance on. But if you were here for the games, if you were here for the matches, you would know that Shameless, he did take it to Clem in game 2, that he was ahead, that he had his own advantages, he was winning, he had the better economy, he had the larger army at times as well, and that he almost took Clem down in game 2 on late lines. Almost, Pappy, almost. It was good. It was a good series. It was a good game. GG, well played. In the end, it does go the way of Clem, but not the way he would have liked, I'm sure. And a shout to Shameless. Again, Shameless is a very young player. He's 18 years old. Shameless, he hit the pro scene at the end of 2023, beginning of 2024, and Shameless has been improving a lot over the past year. Still, of course, a lot to grow and a lot to improve, but he has been improving quite steadily over the course of the year. The course of the year, he has been improving, and it's been great. It's been amazing to see Shameless up against these top players, and hopefully, we're hoping at least that growth continues coming into 2025. We are hoping. GG, well played. GG, well played. Shameless Korean? No. Not from Korea. From Europa, from Europa. Aha. Let's go. And with that, we're done. With that, we are wrapping up here for the day. Again, let's quickly switch on over here and catch up on the matches of the day. Again, 4 best of 5s, what I meant to say. 4 best of 5s. We had a couple of 3-0s, a lot of 3-0s actually. SKillous taking down Nick 3-0, Cristiano over Wayne, Clem over Shameless. We did have a more back and forth between Cure and Nick and NightMare. Cure and NightMare was a very close back and forth, and we had a surprising upset, I would say. I think most people look at Wayne to be the favorite player, and Wayne did defeat Classic yesterday, but today, Cristiano did prove too much. Very different style though. Very different style out of Cristiano. Non-stop charge or Archon based compositions. Did overwhelm Wayne more than a couple of times, and did prove to be the better of the player here, at least in this series. So Cristiano with the 3-0. And with that, we are going to be wrapping up our initial broadcast here. One moment. Do want to quickly see if we have an updated bracket that we can embrace. Hoping we do. Yeah, here we go. Okay, one momento. As we have next week's matches that are available, that are seeded in. Hold on. So when it comes to the continuation here of the OSC Season 12 Championship. Bam, there we go. Okay, as you can see here, yesterday we wrapped up the first round. I do recommend the VODs if you missed out on them, but the first round did conclude, and we now have the second round concluding as well. We just wrapped up. SKillous took down Nicorrect, Cure over NightMare, Cristiano over Wayne, and of course, bam, Clem over Shameless. And you can see here on the right hand side, we have the next round ready here. And again, we're going to be covering this next week. We have Hero versus SKillous in a PvP, Max Pax versus Cure in a PvT. I mean, Cure, he's been going through the Protoss Gauntlet. Jesus, Cure, he took down Creator, NightMare, and now Max Pax up next. Best of luck to Cure, as it does not get easier. It does not get easier for him. Again, we have the PvP between Hero and SKillous. We have the PvP in more ways than one. The Polish on Polish action here. Geralt versus Cristiano. They play so often. They play against each other so often. They are some of the best Protoss players in all of Poland. I would have said that they are the top two last year, but in recent months, Mana has been on the rise. So Mana is, I would say, comparable in skill to the two of them. Mana's been getting some really good results as well. Regardless, very strong Protoss competitors in the European region. They are going to be facing off in another PvP. And scrolling down, we have Clem advancing on to face off against Shin in a ZVT. We do look forward to it. Again, the ZVT matchup is what we all thrive for here, strive for even in StarCraft 2. Clem is going to be the favorite player, of course, to maybe even win the entire tournament, but we have seen Shin defeat Clem in these online cups, in WarTV Mondays, in these online events. We have seen upsets, but they are upsets. Clem is still the favorite player. We'll see if Shin can make a series out of it. Best of luck. And again, these matches are going to be taking place next week. These matches will be taking place next week. Look forward to it, as we are going to be all over them when they are available. To us. Likewise, there is also a lower bracket as well. Lower bracket matches are going to be taking place next week, as we're going to be covering them here on the channel. Beautiful. What's the best way to support you, Patreon or Twitch? Twitch takes 50%, I believe. So Twitch is 50-50 when it comes to subscribing. We do get a better payout at a Patreon. So if you want to support us on Patreon, then you can do so. Speaking of, if you want to support the CranKy Ducklings, ! Patreon in the chat. And our Patreon is set up to fund our tournaments. Let's just switch our scenes over to catch up. Oh, actually, where am I going? There we go. You can see our tournaments here that are available, of course, and our Patreon is set up to fund our tournaments, like Sea Duckling Open, Macedon Open, and Sparkling Tuna Cup as well. You can see just under our weekly schedule our Patreon goal. We currently earn 338 USD a month, and our goal is 400. That is to boost the prize pool even further for our tournaments. So there is benefits there. Likewise, we provide replay packs as well to our patrons. On Twitch, if you subscribe here, you do get emotes as well. So, kind of different benefits depending on where you go. And this is our weekly schedule. We just wrapped up with the morning Friday cast. We just wrapped up with the OSC Season 12 Championship, Friday, 9 AM KST. Tonight at 9 PM KST, that is going to be in 8.5 hours time. In 8.5 hours, we're going to be live with Masters Coliseum. Masters Coliseum has been an amazing event, and tonight we're going to be featuring several Raynor, Zaun, and Estrella. ZVPs galore. I believe they're best of sevens as well. Best of sevens in lower brackets. So if you want to tune in to several Raynor, Estrella, and Zaun, be there tonight for Master Coliseum, or check out the VODs. Tomorrow, we're going to be spending all day casting the House of Galactic Battle. That is a Polish LAN event, so featuring players like Spirit, Laser, Geralt, Cristiano, and many more. They're all going to be at the House of Galactic Battle. Again, that starts at 9 PM KST, and that's going to be a 12-hour cast. That's going to be at least 12 hours, so a full day of a House of Galactic Battle. And on Sunday, we're going to be catching up with more Master Coliseum and the OSC King of the Hill. It's going to be a long broadcast on Sunday and on Saturday. It's a busy weekend. Busy week. And as you can see, busy week. Every single day we have a cast. Every single day at least 2 broadcasts as well. That's how we do here on the CranKy Ducklings. We cast more than anyone else there in StarCraft 2. We have all the casting. We have all the content, all the StarCraft, and some of the quality as well. We got the quantity. We got some of the quality. Let's go. If you see something that you like here, and if you cannot watch it live, check out the VODs. Check out the VODs on YouTube. We do upload on YouTube on a daily basis. Plenty of VODs on YouTube. Plenty of content available, so it's there if you wish to tune into those VODs, or on Twitch as well. VODs are available. VODs are a little bit, you know, less ideal on Twitch, but they're there if you wish. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. Are there any more matches today? Not for now, but again, in 8 hours, we're going to be back. In 8 hours, we're going to be back, but for now, the broadcast has concluded. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you want to follow us, !socials in the chat. You get a link to our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. All things CranKy Ducklings. It's all there in the chat. And we'll see you guys later tonight for some more StarCraft 2 action. For Cyril versus Estrella and Raynor versus Zaun. I believe those are the matchups. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be wild. See you later tonight. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego. Until next time.